ways help to destabilize. The Christian Republican
Yeah, let's go.
touting the love that temporary does not mean permanent is what maggots and mindless bots are parroting in comment sections all across the internet right now, because the Supreme Court has decided that it works for the Trump administration and not the American people. Temporary does in fact not mean permanent. It means until it's safe to return. And Haiti and Syria are not safe to return to. The Trump administration didn't even bother to assess the conditions in those countries or speak to their governments, which is required by law. The people from these countries have went through the proper legal channels, and it has been determined that they have came from a dangerous environment, an environment that the United States in many ways helped to destabilize. The Christian Republican touting the love thy neighbor attitude shouldn't be happy to force people out of a country just because they're black. Because if they were a white South Afrikaner, their citizenship would be fast-tracked and they would be receiving a warm welcome and an allowance. This has everything to do with race and the Republican Party being filled with hateful, racist white people that are scared of anything that doesn't look or think like them. The people in TPS are here legally and are a part of our communities. They work in our schools, hospitals, etc. And this country will suffer as we continue to demonize black and brown people, and not just immigration, but now legal immigration. Temporary does not mean permanent is what
So South Africans are Africans. So South Africans are Africans. They are citizens of the nation of South Africa. They reside on the continent of Africa. For decades, this country, they are African. Whether they are white or black, they are African. And for decades, this country has taken in millions of refugees from several...
What's so bad about...
Where are the niggas in Argentina?
What's so bad about having African descent? My nigga, you're not Cherokee. Like, this whole FBA movement, I know I'm gonna get some hate, but bro, it's so stupid to me. We sitting here arguing about who African and who not. My nigga, they look at us the same way. This is exactly what they want to continue to divide us, bro. The more we argue with each other, we not arguing at the real goddamn, target. What's so bad about having African descent? My nigga, you're not Cherokee. Like, this whole...
Where are...
Did you guys vote for Trump? What's a bagel?
If we were to lose the midterms,
I scrubbed all my...
I'm thinking
name.
I'm thinking about Amy Coney Barrett. That's her. She's a Supreme Court justice. She has all these kids, and these two are adopted from Haiti. And she just ruled against immigration from Haiti. That's the mental
Oh shit.
Just nominated or made it to the Supreme Court or something. No record. Like, she is totally not qualified to be a...
This is a decision that's being made from the State Department, from myself and the president. And there's a lot of things that we look at when we take this in consideration. It's not just one factor that plays into this. I just looked at the State Department's website, and they have a level 4 do not travel advisory for Haiti just from a few months ago, from April, and it says, quote, violent crime is rampant. The expansion of gang, organized crime, and terrorist activity has led to widespread violence. Crimes involving firearms are common. Crimes include robbery, carjacking, sexual assault, and kidnappings for ransom. That doesn't sound safe to me. Well, that do not travel is not for Haitians. That's do not travel
Oh hell no.
for the United States, because they are kidnapping or trying to kidnap individuals from the United States because they feel like their family has the money to pay the ransom. Let me ask you, you said you're going to give them a plane ticket if they want to get out and go back to Haiti. How logistically would it happen? Because the FAA prohibits commercial flights to Port-au-Prince because of the gunfire from terrorists and gangs. Civil aviation, by the way, is also
Fuck.
prohibited in Syria. So we have several options for deporting individuals because we have deportation flights where we can get into areas where maybe commercial travel can't go to. So we'd simply book them on a flight. We expect to have some pretty full flights going back to Haiti and going back to some of these countries where TPS has been eliminated. So we'll provide the travel for them. And like I said, we'll give them $2,100 roughly to go back home. Do you maintain that it is safe?
That $2,100 is some bullshit. I have yet to hear someone that they're gonna get that money. I swear they do it as, I don't know. I still need to see proof of that. Yeah, I'm jumping late on this shit because I've just been sitting on these FBA panels where it's just so fucked up. It's so dehumanizing, so degrading how they treat Haitians that are going through this, the TPS, and how they're talking to Haitian Americans too. Like, you know, calling them anchor babies, telling them you're next, telling them, you know, that they should go deport with their parents. Just so, man, I can't even repeat. I got a lot of this shit recorded just because I had to, you know, and I didn't go up just because they literally don't allow, they speak about Haitians. They talk about how this is not black people's business. This is not black American people business, right? Talk, you know, deportations, but they have panels talking about it. Like everything that the government passes, it's like this is the propaganda that follows. We already have propaganda on mainstream news, right? So just another added layer of black people in America adding gasoline to the fire, you know, and they're just so disingenuous. They have Haitian people that they accept up there, and they're like turning these Haitians that are agreeing with the FBAs about that. Yeah, we should go back and fix our own countries. And just say, like, agreeing with it, even though there's an agenda behind it, because I mean they'll never be accepted within these groups, but they still say what they think they want to hear, that they think that black people want to hear. They think that they are the black people in America. So they think these grievances are real, you know, about their concern and FBA's concern of them going back home and fixing their countries. Like that's what they really want for black people in the diaspora, but it's really they really want them to be unalived at the end of the day. They want to self-deport them. They don't want to deal with them. They really sincerely don't give a fuck about Haiti or Haiti's culture or history because they already have the narrative. They already have mapped it out. Anything you say is going to be turned against you. It doesn't matter if you agree or if you don't agree. They will pick apart what you're saying and flip it on you and use your words against you. You know what I mean? So if it's, oh, are you born here? And you say no, they're like, you're lying. You are born here. We can hear that accent, that American accent. You don't have a Haitian accent. And then the brother will talk in his Haitian accent, and then they'll be like, well, why don't you live over there? You know, why are you still here? Or if you're over there, they go, why don't you build up your own country? And why don't you tell your fellow brothers and sisters to come back? And is it safe over there? Oh, we heard it's safe to go over there. Or vice versa. Oh, it's not safe over there. Well, why don't you handle the criminality and the gangs and like it's so fucked up. I've never seen so many panels hosting this, and these are all these supposed black people in America that are so concerned, you know. I'm just babbling right now, Ngozi. I don't even know what to say. But welcome to the panel.
I'm trying to get the gist of it, and I know, like, I've been quite busy. I haven't, especially after the outlandish, especially after the backlash of the Creole live and the Haitian versus the Dominican live, and it's just like I don't know what to say about this. Like but as far as this is new to me, I heard it today about the some Haitians are agreeing with FBA, some Haitians are not. It's like this is I can't believe that this is a thing because when I go back when I go back like 3 years ago, 3 years, 4 years ago on this app, never ever was there any tension. You could like people would say Haitian, and it was just out of respect because Haiti is the first black nation.
Black Republic, yeah.
Yeah, first black republic in the U.S. The first to actually have governance in the U.S. Black nation outside of Africa. The very first was Haiti. That's what we like. We literally would use Haiti in regards to not use Haiti, but we would reference Haiti in regards to
credit.
Well, yeah, when we would talk about when people would say things about the Moors and and we were Moors, and they would say things about being indigenous to America, and we would literally say, but then there's Haiti. What about Haiti? Like history tells us differently. Who were those that fought for during the Haitian Revolution? Who were they, and why did they fight? And how did Haiti become the first black republic? Like if we were indigenous, why Haiti? And we know the story of Haiti, and they don't deny their history of plantations and enslavement, right? So you know what I'm saying? So now it's this tension in the diaspora between Haitians, Black Americans, African Americans. Certain people are being gaslit. Certain creators. So I don't know what to say about it. But to your prompt, I definitely agree with this prompt. I think Black American is a race and a nationality, yeah. And we are supporting it when we say, though, like even Black Americans who say that they are Black Americans, but what about those who say Black American? Like when we say Black Americans, we are supporting that.
Right.
You don't think we're supporting it? Like we are literally supporting that.
Supporting the misinformed Black American identity, like we're
supporting the misinformed identity of what it means to be Black American. Yes.
Right, exactly. I do. Well, then this is the counter to it, right? To just fill in the gaps where that was always inclusive in a very broad term. I think that they keep repeating it and pushing it like it's an ethnicity. So, and I had a sister up here, African sister, that said, "We're not Black Americans. We don't say that." And I'm like, I know we don't present as that. I'm talking about the legality of it, what's on the books, And so we have to be very critical about that, I feel like, because this is how easily something can be manipulated and turned into something that is not, and this is how fast paced that FBAs have been pushing this ideology, because it really comes from them. I always say they delineated from the term Black American because they knew it was compromised. They knew people can fit into those categories. So, but these new Black Americans that claim it to be so, these are mostly your pretendians, right? The ones that claim blackness, but also call it a misnomer, call it a reclassification. They want to get rid of the Black. So I don't understand this attachment, and at the same time, them rejecting it, clear out rejecting it. The pretendians, the FBAs are the ones that are saying that they're using FBA and Black lineage. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead.
No, you cut out. I didn't.
Oh, the last sentence I just said that the pretendians are the ones that are using Black American as an ethnicity and attaching it back to this lineage, but they're the ones, the biggest proponents of that they're not Black, that Black was a reclassification, that Black is a misnomer. So there they are owning Black American and saying that they're the true Black people. We're not Black. We're not American, right? They're the ones pushing it that way. The FBAs are using it interchangeably. So they say FBA this, and then they'll say Black American that, like they'll use it interchangeably to make us think that it's the same thing. So there's just a lot of confusion on both ends there. So, but they always get mad. So I will start off by saying I'm Black American, but my ethnicities are, Mexican and Eritrean, right? And so they'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm saying Black is a race, American is a nationality, and then I can have my ethnicities. You have African American. You choose not to use it. You choose to make a race and a race and a nationality. You want to convert that into an ethnicity, and I'm saying you can't reinvent the wheel.
Did you say
illegally.
Did you say you're Eritrean?
They're still petitioning. Hold on, Cam. They're still petitioning for this to happen. That they want. There's some that say they want Black American as ethnicity. Some are saying we don't want Black at all. We don't want that terminology. We're just using it right now because it kind of follows suit with what foundational Black Americans are saying. And I know it might be sounding a little confusing. Only the ones that know. But they say that we're undermining them, that we're cosplaying if we call ourselves Black American. So that's the thing I'm pushing back on. We can be Black American because we can self-identify as whatever we want. And that is a legal term that we can identify as without talking about cosplaying or undermining you. Just because you chose to take a term that was broad and turn it into an ethnicity that's not recognized. But with that, let's go ahead.
First of all, that's Kamikaze. Yes, you heard him right. But I'm gonna let you speak. But I just want to say this, but listen, hijacking what it means to be Black in America, and repackaging it under you being a so-called Black American ethnically, according to who? Like, people that are saying this don't even have the right to say it. Like, it's just what they think in their mind, but it has no weight. It has no relevance in the real world. You understand? Because in the real world, we all know what it means to be Black. White people know what it means to be Black in America. You cannot call Black an ethnicity, bro. The only ethnicity, see, people not understanding, this is where we go wrong as a people. People not understanding, our ethnicity does not matter. Ethnicity, let's go, when we talk about ethnicity, by way of it being federally recognized, when did that happen and why? It wasn't because of so-called FBA or Black Americans. The only reason why ethnicity even became a thing, right? The only reason is because of Hispanics and Latinos. That is why the ethnicity is Hispanic, Latino, non-Hispanic Latinos, because it was the Hispanics and Latinos back in the 90s, probably before the 90s, but it was the Hispanics and Latinos that literally said, Hispanic and Latino is an ethnicity. But where was the race of Hispanic Latino? Go back and look at the race from the U.S. Census, right? Race did not become race until after chattel slavery, until after 1865. Before 1865, the census was not race-based. The census was for taxes. So from 1790 to 1865, the U.S. Census is a tax-based system. It is not a race-based system, because the only race, it was no race in the U.S. before that. It was the enslavers and the property that they owned. Okay? At 1870, now it is a race-based system because these ninjas are now free. So now they want to keep account on these said ninjas. These newly freed Africans are now free about the country. You understand? So now they want to keep a track on the population of these Black people. So now you see fully identifiable race, Black race becomes a race by way of the U.S. Census in 1870. My point in saying all this is this. if you go from 1870 to when you see what are the races? What are the races on the U.S. Census? Where are the when we say Hispanic and Latino, when we think of Mexicans, I'm from Texas, we think of the Vatos, the essays. So where are they represented on the census? Are they white tea? Are they Asian? Are they Native American? Are they black or Negro or colored? Where are the essays, the Vatos? You understand? The ones who we would say, like, I'm not talking about white tea Mexicans. You understand? I'm talking about those who we would technically, from Texas, we would literally call them essays or Vatos. Or you understand? So they are the ones who advocated for ethnicity because they had to be under the white tea race or the black race if they were Afro, if they had African DNA, African lineage. So they literally advocated for their ethnicity because they were being ostracized or they were being overshadowed by whiteness or blackness. You understand?
So they ran from DNA?
What?
It's funny you say that too, Ngozi, because we push this whole those are the brown folks, right? We try to give them the brown label too. And it's just funny that there's no other colors besides black. There's no other colors besides black and white. We can joke around and say the yellow for Chinese people, the brown for Mexicans or Latino Hispanics, but those have no weight to them either, but when they talk about black and brown solidarity, this is, they imply that brown is a race, you know what I mean? And then they still want to talk about being copper colored and all this other stuff, and that's another interpretation of it.
We're not brown, kamikaze. But go ahead.
I know, yeah. I'm just saying how people talk. I'm not saying that this has any weight behind it in legalese. Let's go ahead, Cam.
We're talking about in the comments that we are brown people.
The only thing I want to see, we are brown. Okay, but leave it alone for now. I swear, by chance, yesterday I was watching a live, right? And they asked an Eritrean girl, I swear, with the left hand and the right hand, they asked the Eritrean girl, what's your...
Can you
introduce myself?
Yeah.
You broke up, man.
Break it up.
But
Your sound is gone, host.
Introduce yourself with your...
Yeah, man. Kamikaze, man. I'm from Suriname, South America, man. The Amazon, Yeah, man. Plus, I'm a brown skinned Negro, man. Yeah, man.
Okay, go ahead, Ngozi. If I keep cutting out, you can manage.
no,
this. I think
you're brown skin, but you're not the brown community, bro. You don't even.
No, but they even stole our color though, Ingles. We're brown. They were brown skinned.
No, when we say brown community, we say brown and black
Yeah,
community.
we know, but they're pink. They're pink though. But anyway, sorry.
Who is pink?
You're right.
Who's-
You're right. We Negroes. But anyway,
We are
people don't get it,
not black, bro. We're not brown. Okay, but go ahead and speak.
they even stole our own. Okay, so there was this Eritrean girl. They asked her, "What's your race?" And she said Eritrean, right? And people tried to get on her, but the host kind of defended her and said, "We actually identify by tribe. We don't identify by color, right?" So in Africa, there's also something with this whole black thing, not just in America, right? What I've been seeing. And plus, no, we're brown. We're not black, man. People just don't get it, though.
God.
I don't know who created this whole black word.
Okay,
black
but
word,
since when, like,
So
bro, what about
confusing.
the black empowerment movement? What about black power,
Yeah,
black
we
tribes?
accept this word now. We accept it. We accepted it.
What do you mean we
Right.
accept the words? So you don't
We're
think
not-
that we
There's
We
even,
identified.
I swear, get Mask on in here and get what's his name, Starman. Yesterday, they told me, F being black. We're not black. These are Africans. This is an Igbo man and a Congo man telling me that they're not black. They identify by their tribe. I swear. Let me invite them up here, because I'm not lying. So there's something going on in Gosis, not only with Black Americans, with the term black, it's also something going on in Africa that's causing confusion. And you know this.
But if you were, listen, if you're talking about black, quote unquote, like as far as, so the question is, did Africans identify with black, right? Because when we talk about black, black is a racial identity. Why would there be a
Who put it on
racial?
us?
Hold on.
Who put it on them, Angles? Who
Africans,
put it on them?
listen, Africans did not identify. Like when you talking about Starman, like he's problematic, and that's one of your best friends, right? He's literally problematic. He's Biafran. You understand? But Africans did not. Black was under the construct of race. When we say black, the construct of race. So why would black nations, black regions, they didn't have a construct of race. So they did not have to identify as such because they were the only, everyone was phenotypically, everyone was black. Every pigmentation would be considered black, right? So when would this matter? But if a Nigerian was to come to the US, do you think a Nigerian in the US does not know that he's a black man? Do you understand? Like
Now
it would
they
not,
do,
it would
yes.
not be
Now
like
they
there's
do.
no identifying as black. Black is a race. Outside of race, when would you ever say black unless you're speaking of race, right?
It's only in these European nations.
Why would
the
you
racial-
speak?
No, no,
Why
no,
would you say?
no. Who started it though? Who
Why
started
would you
it?
say black? Why would you say black if you're not talking about? Why would a Nigerian say to another Nigerian? Why would there be any reason for them to have to identify racially if everyone, the majority of Nigerians, probably 99% of Nigerians are black? What that is understood. They don't have to identify with it. No, they didn't identify with it in the way that Western nations that are non-black, that had slaves who are now part of the society. So now there is this construct to differentiate between the Europeans and the slaves. You are black and I am not black. So Europeans created this construct of race, not Africans. But that doesn't mean that they did not have an understanding what it means to what their black skin meant versus a pale skin. Do you think that they did not know the difference in their skin versus someone from Europe?
Yes, of course, you see the difference clearly, right? But this whole world is confusing me, man. Please let Starman come over. I hope Starman comes and front him so they can say it in your face. Let Africans say it. Like they told me yesterday. They told me this yesterday in my face. Like F being black. Like they went heavily against me. F being black, right? He's Igbo, you know? He said the only thing he knows is Biafra, right? And Fronten said he's Bapunu, you know? He claimed this tribe. They said they don't know anything about black. So there's something going on with the color stuff. It's not just black Americans.
So Cam, these people didn't grow up in America, did they? They're from Africa, correct?
Yeah, they're from Africa.
Yeah,
but
so
they
that
live
makes a
outside
lot
of
of
Africa
sense,
now.
you know?
But they
I
live
think
outside
where
of
we're
Africa
getting
now.
mixed up is that people are ashamed to be black, and that's what the sister's saying. Socially, you know, they might have another concept of the term black. They might say it in their own language. They might, like we say melanin to mean our hue, you know what I mean? So it's not this self-hating kind of narrative that FBA's push on people, because they keep reminding people that people didn't want to identify with black. And that's why they're mad now. And that's why they tell people that they're not black, because they never wanted to be black. But that concept is misconstrued as well. We have to know the history behind that term, Negro, right? And black weren't always, like the sister had said, it was a term that denoted slavery, you know? So it took a long time to try to turn this term into something that is an endearing, something to empower ourselves with, regardless of how it was viewed. So you do have people from the outside that still see that term in that manner, you know what I mean? But I think as people have now have come to light about this information and have come to find out that people have empowered themselves with this word, and that there's a denotation to it, and that there's another way of looking at it, so people
Exactly.
just have to, people just have to recognize that. And as soon as they find out that's what is that what we're doing as black people? We're calling ourselves black, just like they did. Oh, now we're calling ourselves FBA. Okay, let's do FBA. So as soon as everybody's on code on something, but we can't keep people at fault just because they don't know the language or they don't know the cultural significance of what black means to be in America.
Hey, this is funny. Wait. Mandenka, you know Mandenka Musa, right? In Ngozi. So I remember someone asking her, "Are you black first?" And she said, "No, I'm Manding first." Right? So these black Americans might be right though, because a lot of Africans claim their tribe first and then black, right? So I don't know. I'm confused sometimes,
Again,
man.
Cam, they move differently. They present as their nations. They present as their tribes.
As their tribes.
They even present. Even some people present as their religion first before that. You know what I mean? So that's just how people present themselves in other aspects where it's not a race-based kind of presenting of self here in America. So that's I think that's the complication that we're having. But I think FBA's
I'm a
use
little bit
those
confused.
examples to throw it back in people's faces that people don't want to be black. And don't get me wrong, there are some self-hating people that know that, and that they say that to rub it in like African Americans here, and tell them that they are subservient or inferior, because they are black people in America. There are those individuals that do that.
I want to say this. Hold on, Kamikaze. So I want to ask you a question, right? And respectfully. So when we say black power, right? Because that is something that is prevalent in my history amongst my freedom fighters. I'm African American. To say black power, to hold your fists up, the black empowerment movement. But who was the first? Who is credited for coining the term black power? Do you know who that was? Kamikaze?
I heard it recently. Damn.
Okay.
I heard it recently.
It was
that Trinidadian person?
yes.
No. Huh?
No, yes.
Trinidadian?
No. Yes.
Trinidadian.
He was Trinidadian. He was Stokely Carmichael. He was Trinidadian. Stokely Carmichael, who later changed his name to Kwame Ture. He changed his name to Kwame Ture.
Was he mixed?
Wait a minute. Stokely Carmichael, bro? Do you not know who Stokely?
A lot of people from Trinidad have Hindu blood. Like a lot of Trinidadians are mixed with Hindu.
This is your Caribbean history.
Oh my God.
Mama is calling you.
Yeah, but Trinidad has
Exactly.
a lot of mix with
Okay,
Hindu.
no.
That's why I'm asking,
listen.
was he mixed?
Okay, no, his lineage comes from chattel slavery. He was Pan-African, bro. He literally changed his name from Stokely Carmichael, right, to Kwame Ture. He literally, he was inspired by oh my God, you made me, he was inspired. Kwame Nkrumah. He was inspired by Kwame Nkrumah. He changed his name in honor of Kwame Nkrumah to Kwame Ture. He knows, he descends. He's never denied that he descends. Stokely Carmichael, hold on. Stokely Carmichael descends from chattel slavery. He knows that his lineage comes from the transatlantic slave trade in the Caribbean. But somehow, some way, he coined the term black power. So I'm telling you, from a Caribbean, from Trinidad and Tobago, understood what it means to be black. He descends from Africans who were enslaved in the Caribbean. So I'm telling you that Africans have an understanding of what it means to be black in their own languages, right? Right? It's understood. They don't have that construct of race. But when they are in a construct of race, like in the US, they know that they are black versus those who are not black. They know where they align. And even before this construct of race, They identified and understood what it means to be black. Like Ashanti, they say Brawny. They know who the Brawny or who? Non-black, right? When they say Brawny, when Ashanti say Brawny. So in order for them to understand what non-black, then they have to understand black, bro.
Right. And let me add something too. There were African Americans, Cam, that like the older generation, like the grandparents or the great grandparents, that when they were comfortable with the term Negro, you know, and when they saw black becoming this new term, you know, to identify with, some of them rejected it because it was something new that they weren't accustomed to. They were accustomed to calling you had a lot of Negro movements, right? And so even them, it took a while, you know, for them to go ahead and adopt the term black and see it as something positive, you know. And in Mexico, Latin America, negro is another term that was used to empower a lot of rebellions in Mexico, right? Slave rebellions. So we just have to understand that people can still empower themselves with that. When we say even the term slave, you know, it doesn't matter what they call us. We're going to empower ourselves through anything that they call us. You know, at the end of the day, we still say we were ancestors. I don't like when people say ancestors of slaves, because I like to say or ancestors of enslaved people or enslaved Africans, because it's more of it's more like I think it's an adjective. Like, instead of saying we are descendant from slaves, because the slaves are the Slavic people. That's their word. That's their name given to them by other European people that captured them and called them slaves because they came from they were the Slavs. That's their origins of the term slave. So we just have to keep mindful of that as well. But go ahead, Cam, if you want to land. I want to introduce the new guest as well.
No, Dan, again.
Let
I feel like
the Mau speak.
I
Let the
got
confused Mau
the
speak.
conversation this way. Yeah, big Mau. But so I think from what I gathered, because I found it halfway, is Ngozi's trying to like predate the racialized black version, like the racialized. Like, so black is an identity, a racialized identity, right? And so she took it further from America, and, you know, Kwame Ture, who coined Black Power. But also now we can go even back. I can take you back further when the chattel slavery started in the coast of Cape Verde, right? So they used the word Negro on those Cape Verdeans. So that was literally a racialized. Blackness was racialized, right? Because if you're going to argue that blackness is racialized in America, where did African Americans come from? They came from West Africa, right? And one of the first ports to have slavery was Cape Verde, right? So the word is Negro. Before that, there was the Arab / Trans-Saharan / Indian Ocean slave trade, right? The Arabs, they had a word for us, which I don't remember all the different words, but I think probably something Sudan, meaning the blacks, right? And before that, I think the Greeks also had a term for African people, black people. They had a term for that. I don't remember offhand what the term is. And then further than that, ourselves, our own tribes, ask many indigenous Africans who speak the tribal language, they'll tell you that they had a word for black people. Like for me as a Kikuyu is Modo Moiro. And what I find fascinating is we don't even have a term in my tribal language for white people, right? The word you guys always use Muzungu, that's Kiswahili, correct? We literally had to coin the term in my tribal language from Kiswahili. So we coined it from Kiswahili. So Kiswahili is Muzungu. In my tribal language is Modogo. We didn't have it. We had to create a term for the white people.
May I ask, like, do the Kikuyus, do they still identify as black first or as their tribe first? The Mau Maus, the Kikuyus.
I think it was on Atom's panel I explained the other day, like this incessant like need for Africans to say, oh, identify as black first is ridiculous because you're already a black nation. It
was just a question. It's just a question, man, to learn about you guys, you know?
Kina,
but we just told you,
Mzungu
Cam,
is
how people
Kiswahili.
present on the
Kina,
continent,
Mzungu
you know?
is Kiswahili. I speak Kiswahili. I'm a native Kiswahili speaker. But Kamakazi, what was your question again?
No,
If
let
the
me hold that
Bongos
question. But
identify
hey,
as black,
but yeah, no,
but
The
I had
who?
just told you,
not leave
Cam.
that one. Not leave that one. But
No,
do
no,
you
no. I
guys
really
have?
wanted to answer because no. Okay, I remember
For the
because I spoke.
for the
I spoke about
Kikuyu,
it yesterday. Like
the
I spoke about yesterday. Like this need for like to have Africans only identify as black first is crazy because we're already a black nation, right? We're black. Sub-Saharan African countries are already black nations, so like the descriptive identifier isn't going to be raised on the continent, and of
no
course
need to
when
differentiate themselves, right?
right, and of course
Dante,
when
because
some
they're
Africans come to America, like that is something that's it's been ingrained in you for like all your years of living. It's going to take time to adjust in this new way of thinking of like, oh my gosh, I'm not in a predominantly black country, and then now I have to start calling myself black. It's sort of like an out of body experience, and that's why when people, a lot of Africans say, I never knew I was black until I stepped in America. They don't mean it literally. They mean it in the sense of I have to start first of all. That's my first identifier, right? Because in like Kenya, your first identifier is gonna be your tribe. If you're in another African country, it's gonna be your nationality. And then if you're outside of Africa, it's gonna be Africa. Like those, all of those things are can exist in tandem, right? I can be black, Kenyan, Kikuyu, and African.
exactly. And I remember seeing this or hearing about this video of this Nigerian woman. She's in a store. She's in a clothing store. She's in like one of those dressing rooms, and this Asian lady comes out and she calls her the N-word with the hard ER. And a lot of people said that she had said, oh, I'm not that. I'm Nigerian American. And the uproar of these FBAs and these so-called Black Americans that claim it as an ethnicity, they said that she didn't want to be identified as like a Black American or African American, that she knew that people assumed that she had that derogatory term with the hard ER, the N-word, that she had somehow differentiated that, like she had imposed like that was a black term in America, but she was Nigerian American. So she proclaimed her ethnicity. So I finally watched this video and she was appalled and offended that she was called that. And then when she said, I'm Nigerian American, she said it with pride. Like it had nothing to do about shaming African Americans. It had nothing to do with her not wanting to relate to Black people in America. It was just that she was prideful of where she came from. And even her saying Nigerian American, that's her saying I'm Black American in her own ethnicity way. But people were looking at her like she had committed some crime when she just wanted to stand on her pride, you know, but it wasn't a dig or it wasn't a mockery on the other way. Like people should have just been more appalled at this Asian woman calling her the N-word. That's how they call everyone from every ethnicity the N-word. And this is what we go back to of like how the rest of the world treats Black people, you know, in totality. We're not, they don't make separations of all these different ethnicities and all this stuff. They just call you the, and again, the N-word, the hard N-word is a derivative of negro. It's a derivative of, you know, even though it is a derogatory term, it's still a way, like we still use it here with the N-I-G-G-A, which is the one with endearing, you know, the endearing term that we use now. That they tell African people not to use because it's not theirs. So even when people from the diaspora get called the hard ER, Black Americans or FBAs claim that they can't say the N-word because they don't go through the same struggles, and I just think it's so fucking idiotic. But I don't know if you guys know what video I'm referencing.
Yes,
and if you guys,
you're right. I saw it too. And what they were literally trying to.
Yeah, they went viral.
What they were alluding to is that they were trying to say that this Nigerian woman was maybe like going against African Americans, Black Americans, like she was.
But they had a point though. Because she proved that they don't.
But let me finish though. Let me finish though, because what I'm saying, I agree with what. Right, I agree with what Vibe said. I believe that some Black Americans took that and ran with it, like to say, oh, you see, Nigerians they don't align with us. They don't think that they are Black. You understand? But see, I'm gonna be honest here. Based on what I saw, and I did see the video, I'm gonna say that this is where there's nuances, right? Because for a Nigerian to say Nigerian American, like Dante said in the comment, you're literally saying you are Black, right? Because to be Nigerian, you are saying you are Black.
Exactly.
But I think that what they do, from what I saw, my understanding of what she was saying is that Nigerians are giving Blackness to so-called Black Americans, because Black Americans are the ones who are literally, like, we're not calling ourselves Nigerian Americans. We're not calling ourselves Ghanaian Americans. We're not calling ourselves Jamaican Americans. You understand? Or Afro-Jamaicans. We're not doing that. We are the ones who are representing what that means more so than any other demographics. But that doesn't take away that all demographics are Black in America. But I believe that some people from the continent, in my opinion, they are allowing Black Americans to have it. They're allowing them to have that identity.
Yeah, I see that
out of respect. But it's not correct.
Exactly.
It's not correct. You get what I'm saying? It's like a Nigerian who would say, I'm a Nigerian American, because they don't want to say they are Black American, because they think wrongfully, it's not a fact. They think that because Black has been hijacked in America, they think that the Black Americans are those who descend from chattel slavery, and they don't want to impose on that identity. So they would say, because some Black Americans have literally told them, you're not Black American, you are Nigerian American.
Exactly.
You
So
get what I'm saying?
again, Ngozi, in this situation, she couldn't have won anything. She couldn't have anything she said, they would have used against her regardless, right? Because if she would have claimed Black American, they would have said she was cosplaying, undermining them. If she would have owned up to the hard ERN word, people would have been looking at her crazy, like, oh, well, what was expected of her, and the way she reacted, she was just, when I say this, she was hurt, and like very emotional, and when saying you're Nigerian American, she's still saying Black American, like the sister up top said too. All those terms are under Black as the classification. We have Black and African American. Okay. And when we go back to this term of Black American, this is inclusive to people that were born in America from the Black diaspora, whether they were born here or naturalized here. So this is circling back to my whole concept here, that they still by definition are Black American. They're not saying that their ethnicity is Black American, whatever that is. And I love that you say so-called Black American. That's what I'm going to start saying from now on, because that helps kind of, deconstruct what we're trying to say, because you're so right about that. Like, out of respect, people don't say it because they know the kind of backlash they're going to get from these FBAs that push this on people. Because again, the FBAs are very manipulative how they interchange these two terms to mean the same lineage, the same people. And so while they're pushing that you're not Black, while they're pushing that you're not American, these are all the things that come along with it. They say Black American is a non-immigrant, a non-foreigner, that it's an ethnicity. They're the ones pushing this ideology that is not true. So we do really have to and I love when I do this, a lot of FBAs agree with me. A lot of FBAs say, yeah, that's why we don't like to use Black or we don't like to use Black American, because you guys fit under that. So this is why they delineated from that term African American and became foundational Black Americans, so they could separate themselves and be like, these are the true, the true lineage people. But we know with this narrative, it excludes a lot of
vibes,
people.
yeah, vibes.
Mhm,
Like
go
that
ahead.
would be okay if they had like a unanimous front of like, we're FBA, that's our name, right? But then within the same camp, you'll have like different factions. They believe pretendianism, they believe in all those things. Some of them believe black is only for them. That's their ethnicity, right? It's not a racial category. And so I can imagine an African, probably even a continental African, coming into these spaces and they're like, yeah, I'm black for sure. They get told, you're not black, right? Black American is just for us FBAs. And so they're like, okay, well, what should I call myself? They're like, you call yourself African American because, like FBAs tend to like
I've
also
heard
say,
that one too, Daphne. You're so,
yeah, because
I'm sorry to cut
have
you
you
off,
heard
but
when they
I'm gonna
call
circle back on
Elon
that comment.
Musk?
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
when they call
Daphne. Sorry,
Elon Musk
repeat yourself.
African.
Sorry, I cut you off. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because when they call Elon Musk African American, like insinuating you're African, like as in from the continent, and American, then that creates an issue because now they go in a pro Pan-African like space and they're like, oh yeah, I'm African American because guess what? They were in a FBA space like 2 seconds ago. And now it's causing some more,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
You're spot on. You're spot on with that.
Right. So now they come
Yeah,
and
they're
meet
creating
somebody
more
like
of the
Ngozi,
confusion,
who's
Daphne.
pro Africa, Pan African, and they're like, oh, identify as African American already. That's a cause of like what is it called? An issue, because like why are you claiming that? Like, of course, we understand like in the census that African American / black is the racial term, but the ethnicity is specific like to a specific population. But that's how I feel like they drive the wedge, and it's crazy.
Yeah, before I leave, yeah.
I love that you
Host.
brought that
Oh,
point
sorry.
up. Sorry, Cam. Let me just say this real quick, and I'll let you talk. I love that you brought that up, sister. And I have a video that this woman talks about that. She talks, and I'm going to play it for you guys later. But that is more of a narrative to cause even more confusion, because again, they're delineating from African American, and they're like, well, that term seems more appropriate for you guys because we're getting away from Africa. We don't have African descent, right? So on top of, so they created they gave you the true ethnicity of this of enslaved Africans that went through chattel slavery. They're going to throw that back on African people, and and that creates confusion because a lot of the FBAs go, no, we're the true African Americans, but we don't use that anymore. But don't call yourself African American. So you have some brothers and sisters, like you said, that are confused and go around maybe calling themselves African Americans because a so-called Black American told them to, or an FBA told them to. So I'm so happy you brought that up. And they're doing that same thing with Black American, like where they switch up how they want to define things and try to reinvent the wheel, which, if you're coming up with something different, then you're coming up with something different. Go ahead, Cam. I want to show what these Black Americans are petitioning for. Okay. The same ones that claim Black American and don't let anybody else say Black American. I'm going to show you their petition, but go ahead, Cam. Sorry.
Yeah, man. The FBS told me I'm not black either, though. That little war. But look though, look. What's this color? What's this color right here? What color am I?
Well, you're from Suriname.
No,
Like,
come, no.
What's the
Talk to me,
paper
talk
bag
to me,
test?
please.
What is this?
No, please, tell me. What is this color?
Like, what are you? I can't
got
even
two
see
different
like,
shades.
what color. Which
Just
one?
got two
engage
different
with me.
shades going
Just
on,
engage.
brother.
Hey, just engage with me.
Which
What is this
one?
color?
Like, I see brown. I see.
My skin color. My skin.
Where's your skin, bro?
You're showing your inner
You
arm.
can't
We need to
see
see
my
the
Oh,
skin.
outer
your
arm.
arm. This is
The
your
melanin
arm.
is dark.
Look, okay, it's my hand, right? Okay. You see my hand?
So, are you seriously
No,
doing
ain't
this right now?
Ngozi. Come on. A simple kindergarten test. What's this color? Be honest with me. Come on. Host my
Like
brother.
you're supporting a
you know what?
narrative here, Kamikaze.
No, I'm not. Wait,
This is what
That's what you're gonna
xenophobes
say.
say,
I'm copper
bro.
colored. I'm rusted, copper colored.
No, I'm not gonna do the copper color. But wait. Let me turn off the
Wait,
effect, right?
so you think the white people are
Brother,
gonna be
brother,
like,
Now
they're gonna be
hold
white
on,
people
Cam,
color?
Dainty. What's my
Do you know
color?
there's a spectrum of blackness? Do you know the spectrum of
No,
it?
we know,
Like the
but what's his
spectrum of
color
light?
though? What's his color though?
Does that color change, or does it stay like that all year round?
But white tea people white?
Right.
Are they? Like are white tea
Exactly.
people white? When
And
you
that's
look
why
at the
Cam
color,
said.
when you
That's
look
why
at the
Cam
color
said
white,
pink.
right?
Yes, they're pink.
No,
They're
they're
pink.
not
But I'm
white.
asking
So
you.
why are we not
You
calling
see,
white
I'm
tea
asking you.
people
That's a simple
the pink
question,
race?
man.
No,
No.
you're just being very critical at this point, Cam. You
No,
know,
no,
you're
You
please,
have
being
a valid
do it for
point.
you're
me.
being facetious
I
right
gotta go.
now.
I gotta go sleep though. I gotta go
Look,
sleep
that
though.
looks
Please, please. Oh, host five, please tell me what color.
Yeah,
What color
take the
is
black
this?
ASS to
that
sleep.
looks like a light blackness, right?
You.
It's giving a bit black.
Don't leave.
I'm not
Don't
gonna
leave.
say
Yo, no.
brown.
Don't
I'm
leave
not gonna say brown.
because
Okay,
you
okay,
know
okay,
what it
okay.
means when we say.
Ngozi,
Hold on,
please,
because
please
listen,
say it.
now I'm about to debunk you
Why do the brains
completely.
go haywire?
I'm about to
No,
debunk you
wait. No,
completely.
no, no. Okay.
Hold
What is this
on,
color? Ngozi?
because
Don't
see,
be colorist now.
let me explain something to
The
you,
host,
right?
the host
Like
said brown.
what Dante.
No, it was my turn
Can
to
I
talk.
finish? Okay, go
It was
ahead.
my turn to talk. Ngozi. What's
Can
my color, Ngozi?
y'all bring Akani up, please, because
Please. This won't take long. Dainty, what's my color,
don't
Dainty?
go, don't run
I
after
see a
you
black
speak.
hand. I see a very black hand for sure.
Egg,
Don't give him
Dainty,
the
this is black.
satisfaction. Call it black.
Dainty, this is black.
Very
This
black.
is black,
Yeah,
Dainty.
big black.
Black, bro, it's black.
What's wrong with these people? I'm done. What's wrong with these people, host?
Cam, do you believe that black can come in many shades, Cam? So you know you
No. Okay. Look. White people are pink. Okay, their actual color on the color spectrum is
No, they're
pink.
not. They're not
Bro,
pink.
they're
No, that's
pink, bro.
false.
They're
No,
pink, man.
everybody. Okay,
And
so
we're actually brown.
sir.
Akani,
No, everybody. Everybody
Akani.
is
When I look at
no,
your picture,
sir,
bro, you're
sir,
brown. You're a
sir.
brown
Excuse
skinned
me.
person.
Can I educate
I'm
you for
done.
a second,
I'm
please?
done.
Wait.
But wait, can I ask you
No,
a
no, no.
question?
No human.
So
Just because you
Kamikaze,
guys
wait, hold on.
accept black
If you
fully.
no, wait.
Okay.
If I bring you a South Sudanese person and they show you their hand, are you gonna be? Is that gonna be sufficient?
I've seen some people, right, that look jet black, but they're still
Okay, so
dark brown. But it's
yeah,
cool
they're
though.
African and they're black. So is that gonna be sufficient enough for you?
They're dark brown.
Okay,
Okay,
None of
so
us
can I?
I
people
have
are
a
Okay,
black.
question too.
but wait a minute.
I have a
But wait a
question
minute.
too.
Okay, but can I just respond to Kamikaze because I understand what he's trying to say. Like, yes, the actual physical skin color we're just different shades of brown. Even white tea people are just a lighter shade of brown with certain undertones, right? But when we
They're
say
close to
black,
pink though.
it's no, they're not pink. They're brown with maybe like a pink undertone, but they're brown for the most part, right? They're just a lighter shade of brown. But when we talk about black, we're not talking about the actual skin color. It's a historical reference to people of sub-Saharan African descent. That's what we mean when we say black. It's the actual definition, not the skin color.
God damn it.
Yes, I know this. And I also accepted the word black, but since I was young, like super young, it always annoyed me that they even stole our original skin color. Like on the color spectrum, we're brown. It even sounds different frequency, you know? But I accepted black fully, right? But when I even bring this up, people attack me like, you're self-hating. No, I'm just pointing out that we're actually brown. We're not black. But it is what it is. I accepted it because the world accepts
no,
it.
no. But everybody is brown. So if that's the case, then everybody would be called brown.
And on top of that, Cam, have you ever seen the Kent Clark test, the doll test that they did here? This is what separates.
Yeah, with the
this is what
kids, yeah?
separates the
Yeah, with the kids,
schools,
where they
right?
say,
So
where the kids said,
even those
sorry.
dolls, they were brown, but they were associated with black, right? So
Yeah,
even
exactly.
yeah, exactly. So, but it's about how kids view themselves, right, and how they view other people. So if they can love themselves, whatever they're called, that's the point. It's not one or the other. Like, so the kids had to hear about all these bad negative stuff. They didn't even tell the kids nothing about the doll. They just said which one's the bad one, which one's the good one, which one's the smart one. So now you had attributes added to a color, and so that's the crime. You hear me? So it doesn't matter the shade of it. Anybody of color, we're still like, this is the self-esteem aspects that we had. This is part of the indoctrination that happened. You know what I mean? So
Sometimes when I was,
when you say things like
sorry.
we're brown, we're not black, you're kind of hurting people that are darker shades than you, that are closer to like blue black. We have blue
Yeah,
black
but yeah,
Africans.
yes.
So
We've seen
hold
those,
on. But
but they still
see,
okay.
listen.
Wait. What I used to do when I used to study why we got so much hate like 20 years ago, something hit me like it must be the frequency or something, bro. Because brown just sounds different from black, bro. I was just studying why do they hate us so much, bro? You know, why do they hate us so
It's not
much
a
for no
matter of
goddamn reason, bro?
pigmentation. Okay, so first of all, it's not a matter of pigmentation because if you're going to, it's not lookership, bro. It's origin, like Akani said, right? Because you're literally talking about black with the uppercase B, like black as a proper noun versus black with the lowercase b as the crayon. You understand? When you say black as a crayon, no one is talking about. You have to put it into perspective because black as a race, we know that this is an origin. This is a demographics of people. It has always been like what Dante said, right? Which was like she was literally talking about Bilal al Sudan. Bilal al Sudan means the land of the blacks. Black has always been an origin. In the U.S., they associated black wrongly. First, initially, they associated black with pigmentation and lookership. But then it was corrected where black, even as a construct of race, black is an origin. If you look
But
at
they,
the race, if you
but
hold
it's a
on,
European word,
no,
though. It's a
listen,
European word.
bro, because you are taking something that you don't even. Do you have race in Suriname?
We have
Do
every
you
race. We
do
have
you
every
have
race on
no?
the
Do you
planet.
have so you guys
We
have a
have every
construct of
single
race?
race.
So
We
you
have
have a
every single
construct.
race on the planet.
Listen, you
in
have a
Suriname.
construct. So you do have a construct of race in Suriname.
Of course.
Okay, so what are the people who are African, sub-Saharan African descent? What are they racially in Suriname?
Negroes, Creoles, Negroes,
Negro
black,
means
Swart.
black, sir.
Wait. Swart, black. They call us black.
So no matter which word you use, it's still gonna equate to being black, right?
It's a European word. Yes, Swart, black. Yes,
Is
it's a
it
European word.
literally based on phenotype? So only dark skinned people from
Yes. Only
Suriname?
us. Only us.
No.
Only us. The Hindus.
But is
The
it
Hindus are
because of
not called
your?
black.
But is it your phenotype or your origin? Kamikaze.
It's an origin because the Hindus are dark
Okay.
like us, but they're
So then
not called black.
So then you debunked yourself. Black is an
What do you
origin.
mean?
To be black
I
is
didn't
an
debunk
origin.
myself.
To be black is an origin. Okay, so
no.
what about people who have what's it called? When you have the skin disorder where you don't
Vitiligo.
no, not vitiligo, the other one.
Albinism.
Albinism.
Okay.
So what if someone is albino, but they are of the black race? Their pigmentation would not represent melanin at all, right? But they still descend from chattel slavery. What if they're African American and they're albino? Why black is not phenotype, sir. It is origin. Just like being white tea is not phenotype, it is origin.
It's Negroes. Okay. Negroes are black. Yeah, Negroes are
That's
black.
still no matter which word you use.
You got
it's
albino
origin.
Negroes.
It's origin.
Yes, but it's still a European
albino
word.
could be a white tea person.
But it's
So
still
how
in
would you
the
tell the difference between a white tea albino and a black albino?
wait. The host wants to speak. No. Phenotype. You can see the phenotype.
It's not phenotype. It's origin.
You can see the difference in a white albino and a black albino, like a Negro albino and a Caucasian albino. You can see the difference in their phenotype.
Like really?
Yes, you can. You can.
I'm done.
You can then go see.
Have you met both a white tea and a black albino?
Yes, I've seen them both.
What's the difference?
Host, can you pull up the picture right now because they want to play games with me, man.
No, Cam. They're asking you a serious question because they're at that
Yeah, I'm
point.
dead serious. You can see the
That's what
phenotype.
I'm
No,
saying,
would you walk
because
around and be like, I'm not?
I have a cousin. She's albino because she got the gene from her dad, who's albino, right? And we call her Muzungu, like as a playful thingy, because like she literally looks like a whitey person. Their hair is blonde, African skin is different.
So before I want to before I
So, Vibes,
you
can I say something before I forget what to add
yeah,
to what
that,
Ngozi was
yeah,
saying?
you may. Let
So
me just
actually,
let me
you
just.
know the
Oh, go
discussion
ahead.
about
Go ahead.
black, right? When she said Bilal El Sudan, it actually even added a point to me because it not only black serves a dual purpose, right? Not only refers to a people, but also a geographical location. That's why it's important when we say black is to be of sub-Saharan descent, it denotes the people who are black and a specific geographical location that they come from.
So yeah, again, I wanted to say that Cam, when you said what would you do if you had albinism, right? You wouldn't be brown anymore. You'd be like, what color am I? Look at my hand. Look at my hand. And we'd be forced you would force us to call you white because that's the color of your skin. But so back to what these brothers and sisters are saying, like it's back to the origin aspect. Ngozi, remember when I showed you that clip of those pretendians going back and forth with that FBA, and they're both on the same team, the Black Americans and the so-called Black Americans and the FBAs. They might have their ethnicities that they have to work out, but they know they're together to drag and to punch down on an African, to a foreigner, because they believe that they're here, that they're heritage Americans, and that they So but look at them infighting amongst themselves. I'm gonna play it so the other people can have a reference to this, and then I'm gonna present to you what these people are petitioning for.
But I understand what FBA stands on. And basically is that when any agenda comes in to repair what has been done to our people, people from the outside want to come in and throw roadblocks in a way to stop it from getting accomplished. And so what they're doing divide and conquer? Hold on. Yeah, yes. FBA because it says I'm looking at this photo you got, right, and these is the same people, but you got them portrayed like the different people. Now we can. They're not the same. Hold on. Because you just asked a question. You said why? I'm gonna say this. I've been seeing. I want to say this. Listen, I'm the host. Somebody come in and try to speak, y'all control. Listen, I've been noticing a lot of, FBAs, they're pushing this movement, and I'm seeing Africans now. I'm seeing Africans now pushing the FBA, trying to say they foundational Black African. I don't know about all that. I've been seeing that movement. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I'm just speaking my piece. FBA is not ancient. I would appreciate it if I could speak uninterrupted. Respectfully. If I could speak uninterrupted. And land my plane. Hold on, but let me say something. Hold on. I'm asking you a question. That's not how it works here, huh? I'm asking. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Do you think FBA is a lineage? Like, is that on the census records? If it's on the census or not, people want to claim whatever they want to claim to stand on what they need to stand on. That's what they want to do, whatever the case. But I know what it means. But claiming FBA you're not gonna get anywhere. That's the whole point. You're not getting anywhere. You people marching and protesting. You're not getting anywhere with FBA. Who's marching? Same with Black. Marching and protesting. Who's marching and protesting? I'm just saying. Yeah, I've been seeing people protesting. What has FBA ever done? What has FBA done? Listen, I don't even look at that as an organization or anything. I just look at that as people saying that they have ancestors that are foundational to this land. That's all I see with it. That's all I see with it. There's people who are standing on them having ancestors that have been identified as Black in this nation, who have ancestry here foundational to this land. We do not want to be identified as Black. All it being an organization and being on the census records and any of that. Foundation is the American Indian, bro. What are you talking about? Foundation is the American Indian. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Listen, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with that. But you putting these up here like it's listen, bro. Listen, bro. That's the thing. I don't identify. Listen. But I understand. I understand at the same time. All I'm gonna say is if anybody identifies as FBA or black anything, they're not my people. I could care less. Okay. If they your cousin and they identify, if they your cousin, I side with American Indians only. If they're your cousin.
Okay, so the point of that is you heard it right there. She said she doesn't want to identify with FBA or black. This is a FBA brother talking to their American Indian cousins, and the brother, she said to the brother, the other brother said, we're foundational Indians, and he's like, all right, I don't disagree with that. But then she goes, I don't want to be associated with black. So this goes back to this panel, Pistol Pin, right? She had 400 viewers on her live, and she is on this panel telling she's telling other black people that were born here, the ones they call anchor babies from the black diaspora, right? That when they say American, when they say they're black or they say they're American, she says, you're not black, you're not American, we're black American, okay? These are the same people that have this goddamn petition up that she told everybody to go follow this petition, go sign up for this petition. So let's read it. Let's add, it says, add our true identity to the census. And look at their flag. Their flag has the Black American Heritage sigil on there, and with the stripes of the American flag that we know, that the corporation flag, right? And so what are they asking for to be, what are they petitioning the government for what reclassification are they going with? They're going with, this is what they're going with, people. They're going with either one, the term is reclassified original American, ROA. They want they complain about being reclassified over and over and over again, but they want that as part of their identity. So the first one's reclassified original American. That's what they want to be called now, ROA. The second option is the Sulani. The Sulani. So when you hear Sulani, these are the FBAs that claim indigeneity to America. That's what that whole group is all about. They claim they have no African ancestry. The FBAs claim they have African ancestry, along with other lineages, right? But again, they're petitioning to not be Black American, the one that they're pushing so hard on everybody that it's theirs and all that. They don't even want to be recalled that when they get classified. What they're petitioning for, they don't even want to be called Black anymore. So you got to take this. We really got to take this. So let's keep reading a little bit of this. Okay, it's pretty interesting. So here we go. So they say, we, the undersigned, demand the recognition of reclassified original American or Sulani as a distinct ethnic and national origin classification in the U.S. Census and federal date standards. The current, let me see if I can get this better. The current category, Black or African American, erases the identity and legal history of millions who do not descend from African immigrants, but from people whose original tribe, national, and noble identities were stripped by colonial law. Catholic degrees.
Vibes.
Yeah.
Can you bring up Dante?
Oh, yeah, my bad. Oh, hey, Kat. Welcome up, Kat. Kat, request again. It did not work. If you want to come back up, sorry.
I'm good now, thanks.
Yeah. Let me invite Kat because she wanted to come up here earlier and I couldn't get her up here. So I'm just reminding everybody that these are the same people that are telling them that they're not Black American. So they don't even believe they're Black American, but they're pushing that narrative, right? So again, they say that this category, Black or African American, erases their identity. And so, where was I? Okay, erases their identity, legal history of millions who do not descend from African immigrants, but from people whose original tribe, national, or noble identities were stripped by colonial law, Catholic degrees, slavery, and Jim Crow era classifications. The terms Black and African American are not only inaccurate, they are politically dangerous and should be erased from the U.S. Census. These categories do nothing to distinguish between reclassified Indigenous Americans, Black Europeans, and Aboriginal lineages. Right? I think a little bit more. Let's see here. So these categories do nothing to for that, and then so these are the different, and then the other one, recent African, the one they're distinguishing from are the ones that I just read, and this one that says recent African and Caribbean immigrants who voluntarily choose U.S. citizenship. So lumping these distinct groups into one checkbox erases history, distorts data, and undermines rightful claims to the land, lineage, and reparations. Let me see if there was anything else juicy in here. I think that was it. Oh, undermines reparations, erases the unique history of American-born descendants of reclassified nations and POWs, falsely inflates political numbers with immigrant populations, so on and so forth. Let me see if there was something else juicy. I thought there was something else. So again, these are the ones that they're distinguishing from. Many of us who were originally classified as Indian European are free national, but were forced and renamed Negro or colored after the Catholic Church outlawed Indian slavery to continue exploiting us. Colonists simply changed our label, creating a paper genocide. We always hear this goddamn paper genocide, right? And they want to link it up to what happened to the Native Americans. They want to link it to what happened to them. Let me see if there's anything else. I think that's about it. And they obviously bring up Walter Pleckerwood. that's a standard, right? But what I'm saying, guys, what is clearly identified here, these so-called Black Americans do not their end goal is not to be called Black, okay? Their end goal is to be called Sulani or ROA, reclassified American Indian or whatever that was. So that's why, Ngozi, we have to take it with a grain of salt what they do to us, because if we know their agenda, we know what they ultimately want. It has nothing to do with Black. So you guys can't claim premium Black. You can't claim that you are the you know what I mean? They don't want to be associated with these terms.
But this is the problem that I have. If they want to move in this way, they will get like literally shut down very quickly, because if you're saying that you're Native American, then you would just so if you're Solani, right? Solani or whatever, like what is the difference of Solani and Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw? You understand? Like all these different names that are fall under Native American or Indigenous Americans, you would literally be just a tribe under the indigeneity of America. So then you do have a classification, and that is American Indian, Native American. Why would you, if you're saying that you want to be original Americans, that means you're saying you're Indigenous Americans. So that is what Native American is, the definition of Native American. So do you really think that they would literally look at Black people who call themselves Solani and then create a whole different racial category that is different from being Native American? You would be no different from a Cherokee. You're just a tribe. Solani would be a tribe, right?
That's not that wouldn't even be recognized. I think. Well, when we're talking about being recognized federally, right? I think they're not even pushing to be recognized as an American tribe. They just want this. Well, I guess you're right with the American Indian aspect, but they make this. They do these semantics where they go, "We're not Native American. We're indigenous." There's a difference. They always throw that at people's faces, right? And it's because they want to play with the semantics of the words and claim that they're the true indigenous. They even say Aboriginal. They throw that word around a lot because again, they want to make it seem that they're the true indigenous people here. The rest of them, the Native Americans that we know of, they're Siberians, right? They're the ones that came here to undermine them and replace them. That's their narrative behind this. This is when they get rid of Native Americans because they look Mexican, or the Mexican people, that they don't feel any kind of empathy because they say, oh well, the government's getting rid of these fake Indians and making room for us true indigenous people. This is what runs in their head. This is the narrative that they play in their head when they see all this happening. That's why they have no empathy, and they think that the government works in their best interest. But it only shows you when the government starts deporting and detaining Native Americans because they think they're Mexican. And I'm not laughing because it's happening to them. The ignorant state of these Europeans, how they go capture people based off their racial profiling, right? How they look like, and how they separate these people. It just gives more credit to like Mexican people being of this land. This was Mexico before it ever became before it became colonies and states. Well, that was under the Spanish, I should say, but you know what I mean. And then here, I wanted to play one more for you guys. This is for the sister Dante, right? The one that she had said about how some people are still.
So I shared my DNA results on TikTok. And some very interesting things happened. One, I found out that I am no longer a Black American. Yes, I was told that Black Americans do not have African DNA. And because my ancestry came back sitting at an 86.4% African ancestry, I am an African. I am not a Black American, so I would be considered an African American. So there has been a clear separation within the community, and I'm here to let y'all know, if you have West African ancestry, you are not a Black American, okay? The Black Americans were already here, okay? They are the owners, they are the inhabitants of the land, they have already been here. Their ancestors did not go through slavery. Their ancestors did not experience colonization, and their ancestors have nothing to do with Africa. This is what I've learned. This is what I have come to the conclusion. By the way, I'm not offended to be African at all. Not offended at all. But I do have a couple of questions for you guys. So since you guys have made a clear separation and you are not a part of the African diaspora, my question is, who gets to claim the culture? Because it can't be you. Because the Black American, the African American culture that was built here in the United States was built by the descendants of Africans. And in fact, some of our most famous leaders who helped build the culture never made a separation or said that they have nothing to do with Africa. In fact, Frederick Douglass repeatedly referred to Black Americans as the descendants of Africans. W.E. Du Bois referred to us as part of the African diaspora. He centered Africa as the foundation to the Black identity. Marcus Garvey spoke of Black people globally as African people. His entire movement was built on African origin and pride. Malcolm X described Black Americans as Africans in America. Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth, identified as African descent. Even when we look at the Black church, it was built off of the African culture that was brought over here.
So I mean, that's an example of the nuance, Ngozi and Dante, that this sister had always referred to herself as Black American, even though she knew. When she took her DNA results, she knew she was African too, but they stripped that from her, and she was kind of being sarcastic when she was. I mean, this is something that happened to her, but her tonality about how, oh well, now I'm not Black American anymore because you guys, and she said exactly what you said, Dante, that they wanted her to call herself African American, and I love how this sister kind of brought both of those together as being. She could have acknowledged, I don't know her lineage or I don't know her background, but I'm guessing she would be known as an African American. But since she took that DNA test and it told her she was African, she couldn't be Black American. So this is her response to that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, I've met a bunch of Africans on different panels who tell me that. And so, over time I've made this observation that now they're in this conundrum, right? Because initially how they classified themselves was actually correct. And then now they were forced to change that classification and now classify as African American, which is of course problematic to the people like always stand with us, right? So it then creates like a
Exactly.
chaos and division. But so that's why every time I tell Africans, I'm like, no, just go with the initial classification, because you're right in that sense. And it's odd, but you know what I love about like the first presentation you did, the fact that they're looking at different names. I think I had like ORA, things like that has no black in it. I love that, because we've been fighting them on the term black, so I really don't care if they're gonna have a different designation for whatever their lineage is, and it doesn't like encompass black. I love it for them. So now, literally, that what they're doing is they're taking the fight to the Indians, because I think you said, or original Indians or something like that. So now, yeah, take the fight to the actual Indians who apparently took your classification.
That's right, Dante, and that's what Ngozi was saying. She was saying how I'm so glad that she said that one lady that said that she wasn't black on that other recording, because it makes it so much easier for us. Just okay, go ahead and stay in your lane now. If you think you're that, then go ahead and think that. But don't be claiming black anymore. Leave that alone. Leave that for us.
Exactly, because they used to claim Indian, right? And then come to you as a black person. So it's like, okay, why are you bringing that to me? Go bring to the quote-unquote Siberians that you believe stole your identity. So now they're taking that fight there, which of course, me and they're gonna lose, because it's already established in law who their Indians are, right? It's established via treaties, via the nations that are actually sovereign in America. And so I want to see them go against the Lakota Nation, the Kingdom of the Hualapalai people. Yeah, go fight them, and let's see how far you're gonna go.
Well, right, and you see these things like Black Americans versus everybody, or FBAs versus everybody, because literally they're just going up against all the identities, because they believe they're the black nobility too, the black nobility in Europe. They believe they were the originals in every single part of the world. So it only gets deeper and deeper in their psychology,
Yeah, but people like Crystal, Ken, she's not serious, like, to be honest, because when you talk about they want to be original Americans, like, what does that even mean? Like, that doesn't make sense at all. To be American is a nationality first and foremost, right? Native Americans, right? And then you have the white race. You have, as far as Native Americans, like, are we serious right now? Do you think that these white tea who descend from colonizers, from enslavers, they don't know what it means to be black? They created the racial construct. They know exactly who they meant when they said you are the black race. And another thing they have a problem with, Vibes, is that, like, even with the black race today, like where it changed to origin, right? And it was done correctly, where to be black is an origin from the continent. You understand? It's not a phenotype. So the problem that they have is that our activists, like, now we self-identify. They're not telling us we're Negro. They're not telling us we're colored. We are telling the parties that be, the Office of Management Budget, the census, we are literally telling the parties that be that this is who we are as the black race. You understand? So it's going to be like deer in the headlights, this petition. Like, are you serious right now? Like, you're going to go to white people and try to deny your blackness to white people? Like, really? They know who is black and why you are black and your origin of blackness. So they're not serious. Honestly, it won't go anywhere. It'll be different, right? It'll be different if they were trying to establish ethnicity. Like, if they were trying to establish that African American is an ethnicity and it should not be a race, that makes sense. But for black people to be trying to say that they are original to America is embarrassing. It literally is embarrassing to me. You understand? Like, come on, let's just be real. So yeah, and you know what's funny is that I did on the last live I was on. I was asking because it was a mixed panel. I was asking what is the definition of being so-called Black American, and what is the definition of being an immigrant? Right. I was literally asking everyone. It's funny that you have this topic because people literally do not understand. Black American is not a real thing. It is Black or African American. That is our race. You
Right,
understand?
and black as people that are coming here and being born here and naturalized here can fit under the black term, and then the African American is the ethnicity, the one that is supposed to be meant for the people that have been here through enslaved Africans through chattel slavery. Because again, remember, this is all for that reparations check. This is why they're excluding people from the black category because they don't want them to undermine them. They talk about how people when they talk about stats and they mention like these people got arrested that had that came from a different ethnicity group. They lump them in with the African Americans, or they talk about just other statistics where people get lumped in. So again, the FBA's they're trying to dwindle their numbers so this this reparations that don't go to people that it doesn't belong to. But again, when we're talking about when Ghana went and asked for the acknowledgement of the gravest crimes against humanity, and what the UN and the European nations did to the continent, they also included African Americans. But regardless of the fact, United States voted no. They weren't going to acknowledge that, right? It was America, Argentina, and Israel, right? So that right there shows you that America has no intentions of paying that off or even acknowledging it. So again, the intention behind this delineations was always for that bag. And I'm not saying they don't deserve it or they're not due it. I'm just saying that from the 40 acres and the mule to what they expect to get out of this whole delineation from the white T-man, what kind of table they want to, like they're turning their back on the black diaspora to get a seat at the table, not to even be ahead of the table, to get a seat.
Vibes, can I interject?
Yes,
What I'm talking about, vibes, is if they are self-identifying, no one is making them be Black. Who is making them be Black? You self-identify. Nobody making you be Black. So you understand what I'm saying? You don't have to be Black. That doesn't make sense to me.
And they'll turn around and say, well, those are the people that deny their blackness, because some people, I think when people immigrate here, it's based off a geographical location, right, Ngozi? There are some places in, I think it was Egypt or the Middle East, and those people that immigrate here, they'll be classified as white tea.
Oh yeah, but now the new census, they've separated them. So like that's the issue with just relying on only like a social categorization, right? Because that's why we always push DNA. Because now when the white people needed them, they were white, but now they've said no. You guys are different. So that they call them MENA, Middle East and North Africa. That's their new racial identity.
Exactly, but MENA makes sense because MENA is not sub-Saharan African. You understand?
It makes sense. I'm glad it's not under Black, but also I'm saying it used to be under white tea, but the white tea are like, okay, well, you've served your purpose, get away from us,
Right.
This was a typo, or this was like a loophole or something that you guys got slipped in here. Same with the Latinos and the Hispanics or the Mexicans that had a chance to come under white tea to get their
even Italians,
right.
they do that when it's needful. They broaden white teeness, and then if it's not needed.
But I agree with you, Ngozi, about self-identification. And how people self-identify. So if they want to be, if it's by definition, if people want to be Black American and they fit that category within law, they can be Black American and they can self-identify.
No, but wait, hold on. Which law?
But by definition, I mean, right?
No,
being Black.
Because once you're in American soil, the census doesn't matter your what is it called, like your immigration status. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
It's just
I'm
a
saying for the
cult.
people that are born here, Dante, the people that are born here and naturalized here that are black from the black
No,
diaspora.
but you can be here in America and undocumented and black and just still under Black American umbrella.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Dante.
Okay.
I'm saying they can do that by definition, but we're not pushing that as an ethnicity. This is what the like when they push
Oh, I
that
got
we're
it. I
Black
got it. Yeah.
American, you're not Black American kind of thing. And again, they're just doing this because, again, they want us to get used to Black American being a non-foreigner, non-immigrant, that it's an ethnicity, right? This is what they're pushing for. So again, I just want to remind people that
Mhm.
that they can claim that and not be ashamed to be black in America and have be identified as a Black American. But we also have our ethnicities. We can say I'm Black American and I'm Eritrean. I'm Black American. I'm this.
I'm
We're
an
not.
African American.
Yeah, we can't. I can't say I'm African American, right?
No, like
And
Ngozi. So you
that's
you
the one that
you're
I
I don't
would.
know where you're from. I'm Kenyan American. Ngozi can have her ethnicity
Yeah,
and have Black
Ngozi can
American.
have African American because she comes from that. But like I'm saying, that's where I give respect to African American, like and know that that's not my particular lineage, or
Yeah.
where I descend from. But
I was
these
gonna,
people are shying
you
away
know how
from
you
that.
said the reason, the motivation, the biggest motivation for them is the bag, like reparations. This is where, like, I let FBS talk sometimes, and but you gotta listen for a bit longer, and then you'll like, and the logic starts to fall apart because, on one hand, they're like, oh, the reason why we need this delineation is because we don't know who's who, right? Like, there's no system in America to like differentiate who's like the new immigrant versus like people who are like from chattel slavery. And then on the other hand, they'll say, one, we don't look like you guys. And then also, I've done my genealogy. I'm definitely not African. So there is a way. I thought you said there isn't a way. That's why you need delineation. But on the other hand, like you can tell that you're not African via the phenotype and via your genealogy that you did that showed no African.
Right, exactly. Or their morphology, right? How they look. They go, we
Exactly. So
look
that
different
leads
than
me
you
to like
Africans.
your delineation is just based on head period because you
Colorism.
you
Yeah,
you come
definitely.
on lives and tell us all the time like, oh, I only have my genealogy. I've done my genealogy. Like it doesn't show any African. Okay, so then it doesn't show any African. Then what's the need for delineation then?
Right, and you haven't taken a DNA test yet, and that's something that you're just gonna disregard. I think both are important, but to disregard one over the other is where I kind of see I kind of see how they totally rejecting it and no kind of evidence that points to that they want to relate to or resonate with. You know what I mean? So their whole agenda is to make a clear separation, even though they know a lot of FBAs know they have African ancestry, but the way they answer that one is pretty interesting. They say, well, everybody has African ancestry, even white people come from Africa. So like how far back do they want to go? But that's just their excuse to say that they like to say, oh, well, Elon Musk is an African American, which is completely false. He has an ethnicity. He's a Boer.
They need to stop referencing Elon
I
Musk.
know,
Like that is not
Ngozi.
even because even Elon Musk, right? He is never. I don't even know where that comes from, but he has never been African American because his origins are European origins. He's
Right,
Dutch. He has Dutch
exactly.
origins. So he was always in the white tea racial category. But people, I don't know who started that.
No,
That
Tariq Nasheed started that. Literally, Ngozi,
right.
all their talking points, all their narratives come from Tariq. Like him repeating this over and over again. They have a cheat sheet. They have an FBA cheat sheet that they all read from verbatim, and they're
Right.
all in a Telegram or a Discourse where they send out the new terminology, the dehumanizing, and they all repeat the same stuff when they talk about how black people. We try to tell you immigrants when you showed up. We try to tell you guys that not to align yourselves with white tea, but you didn't want to listen to us. That's a Tyreek talking part. Oh, you guys never claimed to be black. We opened our doors to you. We were always nice to you guys. We were always kind to, we were, we had open doors for you guys, but you guys didn't want to listen. Now, this is why you get called tether. This is why you get told to go back home and fix it. This is why X, Y, and Z. I read them like a book now. I've heard every talking point, and that's why they have no originality or no authenticity with their talking points and how they talk about their grievances about Africans. They all have the similar stories of dealing with Africans, not in first base, not first base like person experiences, but here online that they hear over and over again. And these clips, these highlights of how a lot of these podcasts where they invite, you have FBAs that have podcasts that invite problematic African people that have xenophobic views, and they get clips out of this shit. They pay these. I'm not saying they stage it, but I'm saying that they invite people that they know are problematic, and they give them these. They talk about these cultural differences that we have, and they know how they're going to respond. Like that one Haitian lady that called them to dirty black American, the one that they love to use as a point about how Haitians view them. That same host that hosts those podcasts is a FBA. He had Tariq Nasheed on his podcast. He had a lot of so-called black Americans that talk about this, and they get these clips, man, and they fucking just throw them out in the internet and let the algorithm just pick it up, and they go with this new trope of how they generalize all these people by these instances, and I'm not saying that there isn't people like that have these thought patterns, but I mean they put gasoline on the fire, like the whole thing with Godfrey, right? Godfrey, I think, got caught up in that shit because he was getting a lot of attention from these so-called black Americans and FBAs.
But I thought Godfrey was indigenous. Isn't he indigenous, Godfrey?
He's speaking Nigerian.
No, he's Nigerian.
He's the whole Nigerian.
Ngozi, you know that. I think you got.
Wait, hold on. Godfrey is no. He's Nigerian.
Yeah, sister.
Okay, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
So he's the comedian, right, Ngozi? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know you. I didn't know he was Nigerian though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's Nigerian. Okay, so he's a perfect example. He's a perfect example. So here he goes, right? And he's on Vlad TV, that other show on YouTube. You know Vlad, right? That Russian, half Russian, half black dude. He has him on his show, and he has all these different interviews with him, and and Vlad is talking about the FBAs and what does he believe, he's talking about the FBAs to Godfrey, and Godfrey's trying to soak it in, and he's heard about it. I think he's seen a little bit about it, but he kind of merges FBA with African Americans. Not realizing that they want a clear separation. He just kind of thinks that this is a new movement within the black community that is talking about these grievances of how immigrants treat black people in America. So Godfrey says, well, great, I have a lot of examples of that. Growing up, I do think that immigrants do come here, and he gives examples of Nigerians or his family, these stereotypes, and he's giving credit to African Americans and saying African American too. He's talking about everything that they built, everything that was destroyed in America, and how they don't get credit enough, right? All the inventions they created, and so when this was online, FBAs and these so-called black Americans were posting him all the time, showing, look, Godfrey is admitting to what you immigrants do to us. And I think he got kind of embellished in it because he got a lot of support online, and he kind of went with it. You know what I mean? But sooner or later, you're always going to be a tether to them. You're always, whatever allegiance you have by being forthcoming and sharing those experiences for the benefit of helping black people in America. Because at this point, Godfrey feels like he's part and parcel. He knows he's not Nigerian. He's proud of being a Nigerian, but he also grew up in Chicago. His father was a teacher at the Malcolm X.
Americanized African. That's what I call him.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
but exactly. So FBI's are always going to keep an eye on him because they never know where his allegiance really stands, right? and so and so, dude. So okay. So now he's getting all the shit. Now he's getting all the things because he brought up that one problematic actor who was talking. He played a role in an American movie as Martin Luther King
saw that. I
Jr.
saw
Right?
that recently, right?
What's up?
I said I saw that recently, but he's not the only actor that FBA was upset about. They were upset about all,
Of course,
like
yes. Even the British people
the
playing
British
roles,
playing
right?
Black American roles.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. This
they
is
were
another
saying
issue.
right.
hmm There's another issue, but in this instance, they gave Godfrey all the backlash because he had him on. I think he had him on his show or somebody else's show, and Godfrey was there, and he was
It
agreeing
was
with it.
it
You know
was
when he was
his
talking
show,
about
I
how
believe. It's his show. He had a Bozoma St. John as a guest. She's Ghanaian.
okay,
I really top tech exec. Um, yeah, I had snippets of it. Like I haven't watched the full one, but it was crazy. And
right, and
considering
he
that she's
said some things.
Ghanaian, yeah.
He said some things that you could kind of see. Well, again, it was backlash for the movie. They were talking in the context of him playing that role as MLK, and how he got a lot of backlash from. Give me a second.
I saw that one. The MLK thing was. I thought he did good though. He kind of looked like a young MLK, right? But if these actors are black, right? What does it matter if they're from the UK, if they're from the continent? Why can they not play American roles? You understand it? Like
Yeah,
it's
Ngozi, yeah, exactly. I never saw an issue with it.
right. No one saw issue with it. They are still actors. The fact that they can, like, have you ever seen American? What is it called? It's that TV show that was on the CW, All American, where the guy he was British. He was a football player, All American. Like they had like multiple seasons, like maybe 3, 4, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 seasons, right? All American. It was like real popular. They have it on Netflix now, right? But it was from the CW, and the main actor, he was a British guy, but he said that he went to California, right? Because the show is based in California. And he went to black communities and he literally studied the mannerisms, the cadence, and how black Americans speak, the cadence in their voice. And for him to, I didn't even know he was British at first. For him to actually be able to sound like a black American from California, and like that's good acting because he's British. You could not even tell he was British. So I
Yeah,
mean, this
it,
is it's weird that Black Americans are trying to that they are speaking out on this, and in a negative way. It's weird.
well, let me say this, Ngozi. I'm back. Sorry. You're definitely right. I always said that about acting skills and how they get hired for those roles. I mean, you have to earn them, right? And so there's a part of it where it's talent over anything else. Now, the thing that I could address to be fair to African Americans is that there is roles. Give me another second.
So I'm gonna say this, right? I believe he's saying that there's some roles that are probably sacred and should only star people from the said community. I can give you the same in Africa where crucial roles have been played by African Americans. Like if we go down this like tit for tat thing, nobody's gonna win, right? Like because we had was the king of Wakanda? What was his name? What was the Wakanda?
Rosewick. Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick
Chadwick Boseman. He was African American, and he
He's
played
African American, right? And
T'Challa.
he's playing T'Challa, which is a big,
There were
big,
many. There were many in the Black Panther
right?
who were not actually Africans.
Who are not African, right?
Right. Yes.
And this is a what do they call them? Like those comic, like super
Yeah. I think it's Marvel, right?
Marvel, right? So it's a big
Right.
deal because that's like a big, powerful, like African story, and
Right.
African Americans played it. I didn't see any Africans causing issues.
I mean, look at Eddie Murphy. Like we can go back.
Hey, coming to America.
Eddie Murphy coming to America,
Yeah,
which is
Coming to
where
America is a perfect example.
we first see like African American playing Eddie Murphy, and no one maybe, but in that era, no one said anything about Eddie Murphy. They loved the movie. Coming to America is still a classic in black film. It is still a fucking classic in black film. Even when he did Coming to America too, right? So there's that. But then you also have
there's Hotel Rwanda, which is
Right.
Don Shadow.
Exactly.
And you know the Rwanda conflict is a big.
I mean,
thorn in
and
African
did
side.
not Will Smith play Mandela?
Yes.
Did not Will Smith play Mandela in the movie
Yes.
Mandela?
Facts.
Yes.
It was Will Smith.
Facts.
So Will Smith is definitely not from the continent. So
Definitely
like
not.
we
And then
can
he played.
literally like
Go
go
ahead.
like you said. We can do
Tit for tat.
blow for blow.
So let me say this too, because the one I wanted to say was there are aspects of African American roles in America where they have used, like Nina Simone, when they used that one Dominican lady to play Nina Simone, and they had to paint her darker, and they had to put an aesthetic nose in her, so this is Hollywood's fault. And instead of getting mad at the actors, we got to get mad at the directors and the people that are putting these films on. That's where the accountability lies, not with the actors themselves. So in some sense that there are issues like that. Same with colorism, getting people that play dark skin black roles that are light skinned people, so they have these issues within America already. But I think they get more mad because now with the whole anti-immigrant thing, it adds fuel to the fire for them, But
We can have the colorism conversation in the acting roles, but I think the race role is ridiculous, right? Like,
oh no, I agree
we
100%. I was just saying.
we know, like, at the end of the day, it boils down because these actors have to audition, right? Nobody's getting
Exactly.
given to them the audition rigorously, and there isn't a lot of even in Africa, a lot of the UK black actors, which most of them are either African or Caribbean, get the roles, is because there's a heavy investment in theater in the UK, because clearly Shakespeare and all of those things, right? So that's why they're really, really good. Like Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out, in the other movie that's the director is an African American. I forgot the name. I think he was in Sinners, maybe. Like he's been in. Sorry,
You're talking about Ron Cooler?
Daniel Kaluuya, the Ugandan UK guy.
Nah. The problem is that they
Yes.
suck.
Hold on,
at
Molly.
acting.
Hold
Here
on.
he
Hold
go.
your
Here
horses.
he go.
I
Hold
was
your
so
horses, Molly. I
talking.
already knew you were going to come up
And
here.
mind you, the director is African American in most of the Daniel Kaluuya roles, right? And he plays alongside mostly, I think, Lakeith Stanfield. So
Right.
it boils down to who's the best black actor. So they do audition, and it's not normally like it won't be like a, if it's a African American story, like the whole cast won't be like just Africans. It will be a mixture, okay? And I think that's fair because it's also done in the invent for the stories that are from the continent too.
Okay, and so I just wanted to, before we bring up Mali, I just wanted to finish my thought on the Godfrey aspect. So again, they praised Mali. FBA's so-called Black Americans praised not Mali, praised Godfrey for his commentary about all the grievances about how immigrants treated Black people in America. So he did a lot of clips with Vlad. He did a lot of clips on his own that followed suit with that, and they always used Godfrey as that man. They looked up to him because he was honest. He was forthcoming about it. But they couldn't wait to find something to turn against him. And so he's getting a lot of shit from that one guy that played MLK that had talked about dialects, or I think the language, why African Americans speak the way they speak now in America, because he had made a comment about Nigerians, and once a Nigerian goes through slavery and once they go into servitude, they start speaking like I don't know if he was saying like how African Americans now speak, or because he did it in his own accent. He did a Nigerian accent with a more I don't know how, you got to watch the clip again, but he didn't do, if he knew how to make an English accent, he did not do it right there in that regard. So he could have done it, but he didn't. So maybe he was talking about something else, but people always like to spin it. But here, I'm just going to say he apologized about it. And it was kind of problematic, the way they view certain things. You know, a lot of Africans, even when they're trying to articulate themselves or their accents, so-called Black Americans or FBA is always going to turn it upside down. They're always going to see something bad in the way they said something, even how they pronounce something. And even if they pronounced it right, they'll say that we're cosplaying them. We're using their ebonics. So this is how far they go. But back to the Godfrey aspect. Godfrey
Nzinga, right? Nzinga. That was
right.
directed by Jada Pinkett Smith. Like she is African American. Jada actually is biracial, I believe.
Exactly.
Isn't she biracial? But she did the documentary on Netflix of Queen Nzinga.
See, and then
she's African American, so you get what I'm saying?
I definitely get what you're saying. Yeah,
they have so why are we doing that? Like, why are we taking African history and we are putting it in film as African Americans, but then we have a problem when an African plays an African American role? You understand?
And you guys brought up really good examples. You guys brought really good examples of different actors. But here, Molly is here to
here to tell the truth.
Before Molly,
you're not telling the truth.
Before Molly, no, hold on, Molly. Give me a little bit more time, Molly. Give me a little bit more time. I do want to. I was in the middle of this Godfrey thing, because so much work that Godfrey did to establish all the talking points that FBAs have and use him as an example of these anecdotals or even experiences that he had firsthand. You guys always championed him for being honest. I'm just telling, there's no way to be an ally to an FBA or a so-called Black American. There's no way we can be allyship. They will always see us as subservient to them. Even if we agree with all their talking points, they'll find something in you that will ultimately, you'll become a tether. And so this is what happened to Godfrey. And I want you to hear how Godfrey responds to these people.
You're dealing with someone who doesn't have the intellectual capacity to even be in the fucking conversation.
Oh, sorry. This is a quick clip of a live that they were having on Godfrey.
That's the superficiality. The superficiality is ego. The superficiality is this very fallacious notion that people who have been incentivized to assimilate into the construct of white supremacy have, that, oh, because these are the Black Americans and you're not one, you're automatically better than them. But that's not what really qualifies you. You actually have to go beyond the bar. You actually have to be the one setting the bar, and they're not. So they cope with that by saying dumbass shit, because they don't have the capability to actually have these conversations with us when we're having them. And that's why we literally drag them every time they come into our room.
Yeah, Ishmael, that's why they were in an echo chamber, him and Godfrey and all that.
This is my friend Godfrey, and he's going to talk to you about being Nigerian Black American. So you better be nice, and you better pay.
You heard how she introduced him? Nigerian Black American. I love that. But here I go.
Attention. Go on, Godfrey.
Let me tell you something, man. I'm Nigerian American. That's what I am. I never say that I'm Black American and foundational Black American, okay? I've always said I was Nigerian American. I've been doing comedy 20-something years, and I've always said I'm Nigerian American. You know the jokes about my dad, talking about he sound like Mufasa. I've been saying this on Comic View, on Comedy Central. I've been saying it. I say it all the time. I'm Nigerian. That's how come you guys know. Oh, Godfrey ain't. He ain't foundational black American. You know how you know? Because I'm the motherfucker that said it. I said I was Nigerian American. You're spewing information that I said to you. Whoever made that one comment said, yo, he needs to stop calling. First of all, you don't tell me what the fuck I need to do. All right? I do whatever the fuck I want. I have every right to this country. My parents came from Nigeria. It was called the Biafra War. It was a war. They came from war. My sister was born in Nigeria. Me and my brother born in America, raised in Chicago. You understand? They came for a better life. A lot of immigrants, from Koreans to Arabs to Indians, all kind of the same story, can come to America for a better life. It doesn't mean that they're disconnected from their country. I'm 100% Nigerian, but my nationality is American. I don't claim to be foundational black American. I'm just black. Because when the police stop us, they don't give a fuck what we are. All right? They don't go, well, leave her alone. She's foundational black. Well, leave her alone. That's Nigerian black. They don't know. It's nigga to them. And I don't give a fuck what country you're in, whether it's England, whether it's South Africa, I don't give a shit. We've all got some sort of white supremacy that has plagued us. And all this fighting with foundational black Americans, African, it's all foolishness. Caribbean, it's foolishness. It's like hurt people hurt people. Why don't we get and stick our chest out and save the energy for the people oppressing us? But we fight amongst ourselves because we too pussy to address the real motherfuckers doing this. Enough of this. We all in the same family. Oh yeah, we're all from different parts of the world. Fine. But what is this silliness? It's foolish, and fuck all of you for like telling me what the fuck I am. And Nigerians that say, oh, you're not Nigerian, you're Americanized, fuck you too. Because I'm proud to be Nigerian. I talk about that. I go visit Nigeria. I got relatives all over Nigeria. So fuck you about that. And there's plenty of Nigerian Americans in America and in London and whatever. We're still Nigerian. You see an Asian person, you automatically call them Asian. They could be born, well, I was born in Australia. You'll still say they're Asian. You respect that. Of an Italian who don't even speak Italian, 10 generations off, you'll go, oh, the Italian guy. But I'm first generation Nigerian and I gotta fucking struggle with this. This shit is corny. Black on black bullshit from all corners of the fucking earth. Enough. Anti-blackness is real. And how are we gonna have anti-blackness among black people? That's some corny ass shit. Enough. Grow the fuck up. Your dumbass question. Oh, Godfrey he don't have foundation. You're spewing shit that I've already told you. That's why you know my information. You understand that? And I probably know way more about black history than most of y'all. Most of y'all learn your black history from social media. I actually read the books. Francis Cress Welsing, ISIS Papers, Destruction of Black Civilization, Chancellor Williams. Dr. Henry Clark, all of Malcolm X's speeches, Toni Morrison, Zora Neale Hurston. What you want me to do? Stokely Carmichael. What do you want me to do? AKA Kwame Ture, who came to my college. Francis Cress Welsing came to my college. I go see Minister Farrakhan in Savior's Day since I was 18 in Chicago at the Mosque Mariam. I've watched Stokely Carmichael speak. I've watched a lot of different people. So what are you all talking about? Measuring people's blackness. You niggas need to cut that shit out. This is nigga shit. And I don't like to use that word. We're all doing nigga shit. I don't give a fuck if it's Caribbean, whether it's foolish. We all come from the same cloth. I don't give a damn. We look the same. Okay? We all look the same. If we were all just quiet, people would be like, there's a bunch of black people there. Enough is enough, man. Fuck out of here.
Again, this is his response to all the bad hate. Hold on. All the bad hate, all the everything after that interview, they turned their back on him and dragged him and called him undermining, cosplayer, tether. And so again, this is why we even if we want to think that we're allies to these people called FBA, a show called Black Americans, we will never be. And so I'll land on that point. But go ahead, Ngozi, and then go ahead and introduce Molly. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, because I do want. I know Molly is going to derail this conversation, right? So I want to just play this clip, right? And it's a short clip. Did you watch the BET Awards, Nancy? Did anybody watch the BET Awards the other day?
No, man, Ngozi, so much has been happening. The other day, you mean we're in the middle of the World Cup? We're in the middle of other things.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, I
Right,
didn't.
you're right. It is the World
I'm
Cup.
playing, but I didn't.
But so I'm gonna play the clip because Burna Boy won an award, right? And it's interesting because what his mom said, and I want y'all to hear what she said, okay? Listen to this.
And the BET Award goes to Burna Boy. So Burna Boy couldn't be here tonight, so we accept. Wait. Oh, he's here. Come on. Oh, come on.
This Mama Burner right here, y'all. He must be the most restless person I ever met. He was here right now. Okay. Thank you very much, BET. Thank you, Africa, because that's the constituency for which we got noticed in the first place. And the message from Burna, I believe, would be that every Black person should please remember that you were Africans before you became anything else. Thank you.
You heard what she said, right? Thank you. Every Black person should remember that the message from Burna, he was not there. His mom accepted the award. And what she said was, the message from Burna would be that before every Black person, before you were African, before you were anything else, you were African. And I believe that it speaks to the diaspora wars, right? It speaks to FBA. It speaks to the Ninja Turtles, those who don't want to consider themselves African descent, anyone. Even we see this now in the Caribbean. You know, it was appalling for me to see in the Caribbean that people from Jamaica, you know, people from parts of the Caribbean that we know the history of the Caribbean, and they are literally saying they're not, some are saying they're not African. And Molly, you have this Jamaican flag, right? That's why I said Jamaica. So what do you think about what she said? This is Burna Boy's mom. And you know, everyone knows who Burna Boy is.
It's just standard African, pro-African, African supremacy nonsense.
African supremacy. Okay.
I mean, it's not really like anything more than that. We know, we hear it all the time. Oh, you're African, Africa first before everything. Like, it's not. Excuse me, I'm outside taking a night walk. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I wanted to say something about the actors. You guys are saying, oh, the best actors, rah, rah, rah. Those actors, the African British actors, are terrible. Like, let's be for real. That's why they don't make good Black movies anymore. Like, because they're trying to force these African actors into Black American roles. And mind you, it looks like the new blackface. For example, take a movie like Dead Presidents. You couldn't make that's a masterpiece. You couldn't make a movie like that today because they would have to shoehorn Africans in there and they don't know how to naturally act like a Black American. Another movie, Judas and the Black Messiah, where you had the African actor who played
Daniel Kaluuya.
Who played Fred Hampton. And then Lakeith Stanfield played William O'Neill. Lakeith Stanfield acted circles around him. So they're forcing these actors. And like I said, it's the new blackface, right? Get African actors to play Black American roles. But yeah, the movies now, that's why they don't make good Black movies anymore, because they can't act. So this notion that they're better actors
The new
was
blackface
wild.
is a wild comment, Molly. But did you ever see that Denzel Washington interview where he talks about how there's not any more good actors anymore? That art form is hard to play because a lot of people that come into acting roles, they want to be the centerpiece. They don't work for it. Their egos are too big. And so this art form is dying off. There's not a lot of people that can really truly act anymore. So it's not about people being forced into roles. If they were forced into roles that they couldn't play, they would never get hired for the job.
Well,
So we gotta always remember that.
but they do get hired for the job. But it's not a talent issue. That's why I said that's why they don't make good black movies anymore, because they're looking for these African British actors. It's not going off of merit. There's the idea that the merit. It's not merit. You know that because the movies of today, the black movies are terrible compared to the black movies of the past. They don't even stack up in any way, shape, or form, and you know that.
Okay, let's not talk about like this. This is just blanket generalizations. Like get to the nitty gritty, right? Because you keep on saying black movies of the past. Give us the names and give us everything. So I'm gonna start off because you mentioned Judas and the Black Messiah, saying that they're mediocre. And mind you,
well, no, I gave that as an example.
No, hold on.
Let
me finish.
Side by side, a Black American one and
I'm going off with you mentioned Judas and the Black Messiah. So they won Academy Awards, which are Oscars, for Best Supporting Actor. That is Daniel Kaluuya, the Ugandan African who played the supporting actor role. Okay, they also won Best Original Song. Lakeith Stanfield was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. They also had nomination for Best Original Screenplay and Best Cinematography. Okay, and also nomination for Best Picture. The Golden Globes, Daniel Kaluuya won Best Supporting Actor with Motion Picture, and also they were nominated for the Best Original Song. In BAFTA, Daniel Kaluuya won Best Supporting Actor. They also had a bunch of nominations. The Screen Actors Guild Awards, Daniel Kaluuya won Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role. Okay, Critics Award, he won. He was recognized for his performance as Fred Hampton. You can go off of innuendo or actual.
All right.
Because this is from the Academy Award to BAFTA to Golden Globes, these are actually professionals who judge based on not just like whatever, how it goes through the whole critics and everything, box office plays, how many, what money they make out of when they open the screening and the plays. Like all of these things are facts.
Well, hold on. That's kind of like opinion,
so please,
right?
I want the same from you.
Awards aren't facts, right? If you watch the movie itself, you would know that no. His acting was, like I said, Lakeith Stanfield acted circles around him. But let's go back to a classic, right? Dead Presidents. Do you think you could make a black movie of that caliber today? You might not know that movie because you're not Black American, but Dead Presidents is a masterpiece. And then you had a bunch of other movies that were very good that I don't think you could make today because they shoehorn in these African actors that cannot really naturally play the role.
The Woman King. Viola Davis played, like Dante mentioned, the Woman King in the comments. Viola Davis, she's not from the continent, she's African American. And many of the actresses in that movie were African American. There was some who may have been African, but the main character, Viola Davis, she was African American, bro. She played the Woman King. The
Woman King was trash. The Woman King was trash.
That's not the point. It wasn't to me. I love that movie. Like the Woman King. Listen. I'm gonna tell you this: the Woman King did not tell the truth about the history. You understand about the Dahomey, because it gave the image of Dahomey as if they were rebelling against the colonizers, and the Dahomey tribe was literally the tribe that was not enslaving people, right? They were trying to free people from enslavement, which is not a fact. The Dahomey tribe was willingly and knowingly involved in the transatlantic slave trade. So as far as the movie itself, as far as not going by the actual history, right, of chattel slavery, but still Viola Davis is African American, playing the Woman King, which is an African, should have been a role that it could have been played by any African actor or actress. So look at Nollywood, bro. Look at all the actresses look at all the actors in Nollywood. Where do you see Nollywood actors being mainstream on film? Where do you see Nollywood actors being a part of any major film production?
I mean, the Woman King might as well have been
No,
Black
I'm
Panther.
asking you about Nollywood. Where
Nobody knows
does
about Nollywood. In Nigeria, they're big.
really Nollywood exists because these are Africans.
In Nigeria, they're big. But
Okay,
we're talking about
but
Hollywood, not Nollywood.
I'm literally telling you, right? It's because when there is an African role and it is played by African Americans, no one says anything. It's only frowned upon when it's an African American role played by Africans. If it's an African role played by African Americans, people will say that is good acting, like Will Smith playing Mandela, or Viola Davis playing the Woman King. But if the shoes were, if you reverse it and you look at African actors playing African American roles, you're saying that they're taking this away from African Americans, and they don't know the experience about African Americans. They don't know, like they are clueless about the struggle of African Americans.
No, it's not that. It's just they can't act. They suck at acting.
What do you mean they can't? That's subjective. That's your opinion.
That's why we don't get good black movies anymore. If you want to watch a good black movie, you're going to have to watch something from the 90s.
Bro, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. You understand? That's literally your opinion, right?
But I want to go back. I want to touch back on the Woman King for a second. The Woman King is everything wrong with y'all ideology. It might as well have been Black Panther, right? It was like a Marvel movie, damn near. But the Woman King is everything wrong with your ideology packed into a movie. It masculinizes the feminine, right? It masculinizes the feminine and effeminizes the masculine, right? So here, do you think they would have ever made a white person Amazonian movie? No. This is
Our people were you got in trouble last time for this comment, Mally, because you underestimated the monarchy, or the matriarchy within our culture.
Thank you.
You got in trouble last time for this shit.
This is like I said, it encapsulates. Of course, you're going to lose when you're a matriarchal construct up against patriarchal constructs. You're not going to win, and the powers that be push matriarchal nonsense on the black presenting people. So now you have women with no breasts, they got muscles, they're beating people up, they're enslaving people. Like, what? And then the men, they must be feminine if women can enslave you. Like, what's going on? Like, it tries to reverse the role. Is
that the takeaway?
I mean, that's what it is.
He must have got emasculated by a woman.
No, I mean, that's what it is, though. That's the problem with y'all ideology. Your ideology is a cult of emasculation and a cult of making the feminine masculine and the masculine feminine. That's why the powers that be give you heroes like Harriet Tubman and Nanny of the Maroon. So for you,
Harriet Tubman freed the slaves. Like, so wait, hold on. Why wasn't it? Wait, because you love the patriarchy. Why wasn't it a man who freed the slaves?
I'm just saying. Look, even MLK, he's a passive Negro. That's why the establishment loves him and makes him a saint, right? You know what I'm saying? Like for white people, they give them actual masculine heroes to look up to. For people that subscribe to Afrocentrism, they get and the mainstream black narrative, if you will, they give you either a masculinized
let me talk to you
women.
as somebody whose tribe is matriarchal, right? It's matriarchal even in our origin story. Our origin story, we have a father and mother, and the father and mother, they gave birth to 9 daughters. The 9 daughters make up our clans, okay? There's no mention of sons. It's the 9 daughters. And that ideology did come into play when the Mau Mau, which is my tribe, was fighting off the British colonizers to send them away. So the men went to the forest to fight guerrilla warfare with them, right? And when they came back, they found the women. The women were self-sufficient. Like, they kept the tribe running. Okay, and even when I hear about like African American culture, I hear people talk about like Big Mama. Like the other day I was watching a TikTok video of somebody saying like how once their Big Mama like passed away, the cohesive like glue structure of the family like sort of wasted away, because now they weren't doing as much like family gatherings and knowing each other, because she literally was the essential glue to the family. It wasn't. It wasn't a. I've never heard of a big papa or big daddy.
Correct.
I mean,
Correct,
the feminine has a role, but the leadership is not the feminine role. Okay.
Are you serious right now? That's not a fact.
Your
You
ideology.
bro, listen. You're talking about patriarchy. That is a Western thing. A lot of, more than what you obviously know, are matriarchal systems, even in their religion. African religion was not a patriarchal system. Like most of the deities were not even, most of the what we would call supreme beings, like in Abrahamic religion, you have the Most High. In African religions, that equivalent was neither male or female. You understand? That equivalence to the supreme being of the Abrahamic religion, like Christianity. It's clear that is identifiable as a male figure, right? Right? The supreme being, the Most High in Christianity, the Most High in Abrahamic religions, it is clear that is a male figure, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the
Okay,
main
so
thing
in
is
African religion,
Afrocentrism.
like say for example in Igbo, right? In Odanani, and I always use Igbo, sorry. But Odanani, Chuku, is neither male or female. Chuku is neither male or female, and the deities
That's even worse. That's even
no,
worse.
how is it worse? Like, listen, what I'm telling you is Odanani is the religion of the Igbos. Chuku is equivalent to the supreme being of Abrahamic religion. He would be the Most High. I'm sorry. Chuku would be the Most High, which is neither male or female. Now, the deities that fall under Chuku, they are identifiable as male or female. But a man can pray to a female deity. You pray to your need. You understand? You're going to pray to the god of fertility if you want your wife to conceive. You like a male can pray to a female deity, a female can pray to a male deity. You understand? Because there's no patriarchal, there's no dominance, there's no male dominance in Igbo religion. You understand? And with the lack of male dominance, that is why you can literally see patriarchal cultures in society, because there is no male dominance. So that's why in Igbo culture, women early on, they have always been a part of the political process, along with the elders. They had a place. You understand? It wasn't until colonization that was dismantled.
So Afrocentrism is a feminine. It's like another branch of feminism. I mean, that's what turns a lot of people off to it, because we see that it's almost like a cult of emasculation. Think about the rhetoric, right? It's about enslavement. It's about being a victim. It's about highlighting the times you lost, highlighting the times you were victimized. And the subtext to it all is the men were unable to protect the women. So the subtext to it is very anti-black male, especially anti-black American male. Like, that's the subtext to Afrocentrism. And that's why a lot of people can't rock with it. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Pan-Europeanism, where are the Europeans forgetting about the Holocaust? Do they not? No. Like Pan-Europeanism. Right? Are the Europeans, like Marco Rubio literally said in Munich, Germany, that we are children, we Americans are children of Europe. Like, are they forgetting that they are children? Like, we don't even, like, you literally talking about victimhood, a victim mindset.
Right.
Do the Europeans not celebrate 9/11 every year?
That's different. Your whole ideology.
How is that different? The Europeans, they celebrate, they memorialize.
And their tagline is never forget. Never
forget. The Europeans memorialize every damn thing. But nobody say that they are victims and that they have a victim mindset
All
The
right,
Europeans
in
talk
your
about, they
in
talk
your
about Pearl
ideology,
Harbor. They talk about 9/11. They even talk, don't you even know that the Europeans have, if you go to the plantation South, Mali, you will see the, like 1776, you will see them literally dressed up in that old ass, attire of you understand what I'm saying? Like when it was the unrest, civil unrest in 1776, when the U.S. got its independence, you would literally see them reenact this whole thing about the WAR between them and Europe with the cannons and everything. Like you literally see these people with this attire on from the 1700s. They literally have the attire
let
on.
me put it
They
to you
literally
like
have
this.
the cannons. They literally have
Hold
those
on, wait,
musket.
wait.
Hold on. They have those musket. They have the musket weapons, and they reenact this.
Hold on, let me put it
every
to you like
year.
this. As a man, right, who's half American, Black American, and half Jamaican, the only way that I get historical wins via the narrative is if I lean into being American or I lean into being Jamaican by way of the British Empire, right? I don't get wins by leaning into any African ideology. It's nothing but L's there for me. It's an ideology that has nothing but L's. But leaning into
You
being
get no
American,
wins. You get no wins from the FBAs, bro. But you get some wins over here if you're on this side.
Hey, hold up. Wait, so you're Jamaican, right?
yeah, I'm
Mo?
half Jamaican. Yeah, I'm half Jamaican.
Okay, so you understand you're half a tether to FBAs.
Look, I just stand on the side of
No,
righteousness.
I just have this. I'm going. There's
goes with
somewhere
the
I'm going.
rhetoric.
Please, I'm just asking. I don't know why you feel the embarrassment to agree because you'll be half a tether in them in one hot second.
We get along fine, right? Because, like I said, I stand on the
Wait,
side
hold
of
on.
righteousness.
You've never been called. Wait. You've never been called a. You've never been called a tether with that flag.
I mean, you have some reactionary, low-educated folks in that crowd.
So the answer is you have been.
But
Okay,
I'm
the
just
answer
saying-
is you have been. And you know what I find funny in you because you inserted yourself hook, line, and sinker in the conversation about like African versus African American what's it called? Actors. Why? Like, well, I read, listen, merit, there's a standard in acting, right? There's different bodies, which I mentioned, the Globe, BAFTA, Oscars, everything. I went through the list of the awards he won. Like, there are literally critics who do this type of work. You get nominated in that category, and it's normally very, like tight, and they won. And again, all the Africans / like maybe UK blacks, which they're normally Caribbean, your people, half your people, and African. When they act in this American like best plays, the directors are normally African American directors themselves. So these directors have signed off on these actors saying these are the best qualified for these roles. So then don't place if their judgment is off, then the onus can't be on the African actor.
I'm just saying,
because
you have to admit,
I'm trying to remember
the
off
movies
the
today
top of
don't
my
hold
head.
a candle.
Who is
to
the guy
movies
who
of the past.
who did the Sinners movie? Who's the director?
Sinners wasn't even that good. You know
I'm just
Michael B.
that's
Jordan
the guy.
carried
Hold on.
Sinners.
Wait,
He
that's
carried
the
Sinners.
guy. Wait, that's the guy who normally does a lot of the movies. He's the director. What's his name?
Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan Coogler. So he per his standards, because he's part of the auditioning team, like understands this are the best qualified candidates. So I don't know why then you would now put the onus on these African actors when there's an African American signing off and saying these are the best qualified candidates. And like don't even play as if majority of those actors in his movie aren't African American as well.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, the movies aren't as good today, and I know why. We all know why.
Okay, but wait,
Man, that's
who do you think the
subjective.
movies
That's
on
your
is good?
opinion.
Because
The
That,
black
that,
it
that you
movies.
is.
don't
If
speak
you
for
Hold on,
all
wait.
black
because
people in
hold on,
America.
Vibes. You think the black movies today hold a candle to the
okay,
black
so
movies of the
wait a minute.
90s?
So wait a
Come
minute.
on,
Hold
bro.
on. Because first
You're
of all,
tripping,
like
bro.
it doesn't matter, bro. Because we're
There's
talking.
different actors, Molly.
But then he's talking about.
Actors of their time.
But he's talking about these entities, right? We were talking about the Oscars and all that. How many roles did Denzel Washington play that he was brilliant, in my opinion, in said role? It wasn't until Denzel Washington, who was African American, who literally played in Training Day a corrupt police officer, a black thug, right? And he got an Oscar overplaying
Oh,
other
that's a lot of actors,
overplaying
Nkosi. That's
Malcolm
so
X.
many black actors.
He didn't get an Oscar for playing Malcolm X. He didn't get an Oscar for playing any of the like even Glory, right? When he was a soldier on the front line in Glory. Did he get an Oscar for playing a soldier on the front line and a black man on the front line in Glory, showing how the military allegedly used black people? He got an Oscar when he played a thug who was a cop. He was a cop that was a bad cop, right? And he got an Oscar for that. Like it literally was a slap in the face to black actors, and you understand? So while you're sitting there talking about, what's good, and then you're comparing it to the industry and in awards and all that, like look at how black people have been depicted when they are literally playing brilliant roles, and they don't eat when they literally are. Hold on, when they are having. Hold on. When they are having brilliance in their acting, like this is like it's stellar. But then it takes for him to play a rogue cop. And then they want to give him an actor for what they think black looks like. That's why he got, in my opinion, that's why he got an Oscar. Because he played a stellar role as a black man that's what they see in black people. You understand? So no matter if it's a black American, African American, someone from the UK, the continent, Caribbean, this industry will always see black people a certain way. So why do black people go against other black people? Right? Random African, bro, you are Jamaican. And first of all, Dante, I'm going to correct you respectfully. They would not think that he is half a tether. He would be a whole tether. Because he doesn't, because in order for you, you would be a whole tether, because number one, they would say who are your grandparents, who are your parents on your mother and father's side, who are your grandparents on your mother and father's side. You have to have four, you have to have your parents and your grandparents both have to be black American to them. Not know that you are half Jamaican, half black American. You understand? They don't accept you as that. If your direct lineage is not black American, point blank, period, then you are not accepted in the club, my guy.
I mean, this ideology, your ideology.
How do you identify?
Ideology.
Molly, how do you
That's
identify?
a fact.
Molly, how do
I
you identify
identify?
to them? What do you say to them? Yeah, how do you identify to them?
I'll tell them I'm Jamaican American. My mother's from Jamaica. My father's from America. And they're like, all right, bet.
No, I know, but how do you identify though? What do you call yourself? Do you call
A
yourself
human. I don't
African
know.
American, Black American?
I don't call myself
FBA?
African American. Definitely don't call
Molly,
myself
don't play
African. I just
with
call
me.
myself.
You're
I
in
just
those
call myself.
circles.
I just call myself American.
Uh-huh.
Is that all right? Can I just call myself American without putting Africa on it?
See, that's the
I
new
don't
ideology.
I don't
too.
identify.
So you're not
They wouldn't
FBA.
let you get away with that, Molly.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on.
They would say
Molly.
that you're not American. They're American, not you.
Wait, but vibes.
I mean, they're Americans too.
But vibes for him to
I would think.
to use
Go ahead.
for him to use such a
Go ahead.
broad description for himself, because American isn't really a nationality, an ethnicity. So therefore, you've bound yourself
Exactly.
ethnicity less, right?
Is Jamaican?
So
Is Jamaican an ethnicity?
I would like to finish.
It's a nationality.
Vibes asked you what you identified to as them. You answered it already, so I'm going off of what you answered, right? So now to fit in this crowd, you first of all have to like rid yourself of your ethnicity, so your ethnicity less to them. And then when you say American, that's such a broad description, because what is American? It's literally anybody who is either born in America or naturalized.
No, you're talking about a U.S. citizen. A U.S. citizen and an American are two different things.
So
No,
what's the
it's
difference?
not. It's
Because you're
not
not
true.
indigenous.
Now, a
You're
U.S.
taking
citizen
their
is somebody
definitions.
who immigrated to the
Mali,
United States and
you're
got
taking
citizenship.
their
But is your
definitions.
daddy
You're taking their
indigenous?
definitions.
Yeah, he's indigenous to America.
So you don't even have like Black American roots. You're literally an
But
indigenous
y'all
person
trying to
and
redefine what that
Jamaican.
means. Y'all are trying
Wait,
to redefine what that means. To
no,
be
no, we're
African,
asking
to be
you.
a
Wait, so
you
lawful
guys
Molly,
are.
Molly, do
citizen.
you disclose to them that you're indigenous and Jamaican?
My dad's American and my mom's Jamaican. I don't know what else you want me to say. Like,
Is the
I
American
get it.
Black or indigenous?
I mean, by your definition of black, it's definitely not black. He's not an African. My dad is definitely not an African.
No,
But
your
back
so your
before
dad
we,
is indigenous, right?
yeah.
Okay,
So
so
is
you're
so is he a
indigenous and
pretendian,
Jamaican.
Mali? Is he a pretendian,
No,
or
he's
is he
not
really Native
he's
American?
not a pretendian. He's legitimately a
Is he Native American? Is he one of the Siberian Native Americans?
Nah, he's not Siberian Native
So
American,
what kind of indigenous is he? What's his tribe?
he's Lenape. But
Not even you. Wait, you're not
never
even
mind that.
really. You're not really FBA. So you kind of lying to them.
No, I'm completely FBA because mind
No,
you,
no, you're
you
not.
guys,
No, you're
you
not.
guys don't
Not
understand. You guys don't
You're not
understand.
FBA by their definition.
You
You're
guys
not.
don't understand historical American culture.
Molly, you're lying
Before
to
you
the
guys came to
people.
America, colored was the term that was used, colored or Negro, and that just meant you weren't white passing. That included natives and I guess whatever imported Africans may have found their way here.
So your daddy isn't Black, and
They
your mommy is the Jamaican one. So
well, Denti, let me tell
you're
you,
lying to the
Denti.
FBAs.
They definitely consider him a tether. Well, not a tether,
Now I
right? But
agree with Ngozi. He's a full tether.
they definitely do not consider him part of their lineage. But since he's such a anti-African, since he's so anti-immigrant, they kind of let him hang out in the group, right? Or I don't know if they
So
actually
he's a
let him hang
puppet.
out in the group, but he hosts his own lives. I don't know how they
He's a
treat him
puppet.
on their panels.
So you're just a puppet to the FBA. Really?
Hold on. I'm in the store real quick. I can't talk this stuff around normal people.
You're a puppet, my guy. I promise you, listen, I want you to like tell FBA that you are entitled to reparations, and then you'll see their true colors, right? Like tell them that you get reparations because of your lineage, and they're gonna say no, you do not.
Mali would come under the broad term, right, Ngozi, that we talk about being Black American. Do you think he would come under that, right? Not Black American as an ethnicity, though.
I mean, he's. I mean, they would literally call him an anchor baby. To be honest, they should be calling him an anchor baby. But as long as they have a common enemy, and he's going against his own and what it means to be Black, and he's degrading what it means to be African. Yeah, they're just tolerating you, sir. They're tolerating you, but you're an anchor baby.
Yeah,
To
you're the
them.
definition of well, not Godfrey. Godfrey actually had more African pride. But I thought Jamaicans had African pride too. That's why I'm confused with Mali's.
Well, Molly,
Majority of Jamaicans do, but there's a rise of Jamaicans. I call them Jamaicans because they affect Jamaicans. I
Wow.
just
Yeah, we
really
have
don't
them in
want
every
them.
demographic. You're right, Dante.
yeah, but they're not
Is it Dainty or Dante? Sorry.
Dante.
Okay, Dante.
Even the Jamaicans, though, I think that the influence still comes from the mindset of the separatist groups in the U.S.
All right,
Because
I'm back out of the store now. Like I said, I can't have them conversations around normal people.
no, because they will look at you crazy when you talk. So because you know, well, you're Black, you're Black,
He
and
was
you.
probably surrounded by Africans
So
too.
I want to ask him. So you're not African descent at all? You're
No,
not
I'm not
African.
African. You know how much of a stretch that would be?
No, I'm asking you. Yes.
Like,
Are
what?
you-
That's crazy. That's like saying I'm of European. Saying I'm of European descent would be a less of a stretch.
Why
You know how
would
much of a
that?
stretch?
How would that be less of? What the?
Because I have a European name. I
So
speak
you
European
identify
language. I have.
really
Like, what?
the
Come on
reason
now.
you have a
All right,
European name is because
let me put it to you like this,
your
right?
your daddy, your European slave master daddy, gave it to your grandpappy. That's why you have a European name.
Here's the thing, right? Let me explain to you like this. Look, I'm not denying the possibility of having some distant African ancestry. I'm not denying that. But to say I'm of African descent is really stretching it. I'm of American descent, American and Jamaican descent. That's it. It's no more. That's a valid identity. I don't have to shout out Africa. I don't have to center Africa or nothing like that.
Your mom is Jamaican, sir.
Yeah, she's Jamaican.
Okay, the Sam is wild. So unless she's indigenous, like whoever were there before Jamaicans, like the black people came. So is she black?
I mean, nobody's actually black. Nobody's skin is actually black. Like you
Here
guys,
we go again with that. We even heard this.
see,
from
black
others,
has become a kind of
How do you call yourself Black American, Mali?
Nobody's skin is actually
How do you
white.
call
either.
And hold on. How do you call yourself FBA then? Because there's black included in
Since you
Foundational
guys
Black
started
American.
identifying as black, and it essentially has become
No,
some kind
you
of cult.
don't
Like, I don't identify as that
identify as
anymore.
black. You just
Because
said that.
you guys have messed it up, bro.
How do you?
It's
how
like
do
if
you
you go to a
not
party
identify
and
as black,
somebody's
but then at
wearing
the
the
same
same
time
outfit, some
identify as
cornballs
black?
wearing the same outfit as you. You're like, man, I'm not wearing this shit. Let me take this off. You know what I mean? You ever go to if you ever went to a place, see a corny person wearing the same shit you're wearing, you're like, nah, now he done messed it up. I'm out.
That's
You know what I mean?
FBA
I
talking
can't wear this.
point about cosplaying
wear
and
this.
saying that we wear jeans, we wear shirts. The way we stand, the way we walk is somehow cosplaying. FBAs or cosplaying black people in America. You guys all have talking points. That's what it's alluding to.
I
You make things.
want him to go to a whitey live and say that you're not black.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not black in any real way because now you guys made black Afrocentric. So no, I'm not black anymore. I'll give you guys black. You guys managed to usurp
So
black. There you go.
therefore,
Take your little
Molly,
lick.
you're
We
giving
didn't
us
need your
more.
permission.
You're giving us more reason for you to not the FBA because the FBA, the B stands for black.
I mean, I don't
the
identify
list
as
is
FBA
growing.
either, but in principle, they have solid points.
No, you
You
cannot
said
be part of them. You're not black.
you
But I
said
mean,
you
I'm not.
identified as FBA.
I didn't say I identify as FBA.
The
I
B
said I
is
identify as
the B
Jamaican
stands for
American.
black.
Right,
I mean-
and then the A is African. They are black and African. Like it's literally.
I mean, begging for people to be African, and this is the thing, because mind you, I don't. But I just want you to that it makes you look very insecure. I don't want you to look bad out here.
Molly,
You guys
just
are
stop
looking bad out
lying.
here.
Molly, stop lying to us. Molly, stop lying to us that you don't have anything against Africans. Your whole lives are to dismiss Africans and punch down on them. Talking about we're Afrocentricizing everything, and you think it's this whole plot of we're gonna take over, like we're here to take over things. So you definitely are against Africans.
I mean, I'm against a malicious mindset that many Africans and Afrocentric.
Right. What I'm getting from Molly, I sort of like psychoanalyzed, and what it boils down to is he's having a hard time reconciling his identity, right? Because clearly, like he said, his dad is Native American, his mom is Jamaican, right? So he's in a conundrum, limbo of some sorts, right? Because then he's not fully accepted in FBA circles because he's a tether anchor baby to some. Then I guess in the Jamaican side, he doesn't claim to be African because I guess.
Here's the thing: I'm not seeking to be validated or accepted by anybody. Look, you have to understand. There's a lot. I'm not the only Jamaican American on this earth. There's plenty of us. So we are our own people. We are our own group.
Actually, I know a lot of Jamaicans, and growing up in Kenya, there's a lot of interaction with Jamaican culture by there because a lot of Jamaicans do big of Africa because if you know, the Rastafari movement was named after Haile Selassie, which is the emperor of Ethiopia. His real name is Rastafari Makonnen, hence the name Rastafari. Okay, so Most of the Jamaicans I've met, they do understand that they have origin, like they have African ancestry, like they big up Africa. Actually, they'll tell you straight up they're African. Okay, you're one that doesn't, which is odd, but I sort of kind of understand, because I think you're one of those people who's in limbo, right? You want to be accepted in like a space that really doesn't fit you. They tell you that it doesn't fit, you don't fit in it, and therefore, in order to reconcile this like lost internal battle of identities, you wanna like minimize people who are very proud to be black.
Now, even some Africans will tell you that we need to stop. You need to stop begging folks to be African. They don't want to be
Nobody's
African.
begging you, Molly. There's 1.5 billion Africans in Africa. Like we'll be fine without you. You one, Molly. We'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You try to box people in to say that there's some kind of African.
Molly, I have a question for you, right? Because you said your dad, or which one, your mom or your dad is Jamaican? Your mom?
My mom is Jamaican. Yeah.
Your mom is Jamaican. So did your mom ever tell you, did your mom grow up in Jamaica?
Yeah, she grew up in Jamaica.
She grew up in Jamaica. So did your mom ever
She's
tell
black
you?
in Jamaica?
We're going to
Jamaica
find
has-
out. We're about to
Jamaica
find
has
out
different-
vibes.
Jamaica has different classifications.
I know Jamaica is a nationality, but the majority of the population of
Oh, here we
Jamaica
go.
is black. But I want to ask you, Molly, did your mom ever tell you the story of Anansi?
Good.
What? About Western Europe? No. It's Anansi. No, so you're gonna like literally lie about your own history. Anansi, the story of Anansi. Do you know
And
why Anansi?
that's how those
is-
things got spread.
That's not, bro. Like, so you're just gonna sit up here and just lie?
That's not
The
a lie. Look it
Anansi-
up. The
Anansi,
West India
hold on.
Regiment was used to fight the
Are you
Ashanti
serious?
Wars to end slavery. No, that's not a lie. It's a historical event that happened.
Anansi.
So, and-
Anansi is. Oh, sir. The story of Anansi is in. It's in Ashanti, like you just said. That's
Yeah,
Ashanti
because
folklore.
Jamaicans
It's
brought it over
Ashanti.
there.
It's
The Jamaicans brought it over there when they were fighting with
Jamaicans,
the
bro.
West
They were
India Regiment.
they were Ashanti. They were a Khan before they were Jamaican. This is the folklore. This is literally culture from Ghanaians, from Ashanti tribe. Anansi the spider, right? That specific folklore literally comes from the Ashanti tribe. And you're sitting up here talking about that it comes from Europe.
It comes from Jamaica. It comes from Jamaica. It comes from the West Indies.
Who were Jamaicans before they were Jamaicans?
I mean, they've always been Jamaicans. Like, what are you
Bro,
talking about?
what the fuck? Okay. So you just willfully obtuse to think that during the time of colonization, so when the colonizers came into the region that we know today as Jamaica, it was already called Jamaica, and black people were already there. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, people of color were already there, of course. Yeah.
Oh my God, people of color. Like you literally now you're erasing the indigenous cultures that was in the land, right? I'm literally asking you about Anansi, which is folklore of the
And I'm
Ashanti.
telling you what happened. The West Indian
The
Regiment.
Anansi, the
West
spider
Indian-
who
Look,
literally, what is the story of Anansi? Tell me.
I don't. It's like some trickster spider, as far as I know. But here's the thing.
Well, who did he
Anansi-
trick? Who did the spider trick?
I don't know.
You know
But
the
here's-
story, bro. You're Jamaican. You don't know you don't know?
Here's how it got to Africa, right? The West Indian Regiment got deployed to Africa under the British Empire to end the slave trade. It was called the West Indian Regiment, and they left a lot of there was a lot of people from the Americas that ended up going to Africa for different reasons. You had the Americo-Liberians, you had the Creole people, Sierra
Bro,
Leone.
let's not talk
You
about.
had
We're
a
not
bunch of
talking about them. I'm talking about.
and
Did you
they
see
left
what
the
Dante-
legacy.
Hold on. Did you see what Dante put in the chat? She said, "Did she eat ackee?" She's Jamaican. So you finna tell me your Jamaican mom doesn't eat ackee and sawfish?
Yeah, she eats ackee and shellfish.
Where does ackee come from?
I'm not sure where ackee comes
What
from.
the Aki is indigenous to Africa.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to look
Aki
that
is
up. I would have to
indigenous.
look.
How do you? So
I
your
mean,
mom
maybe.
didn't teach you
Well,
nothing
here, all
about
right, all
your.
right. Here's
Okay.
the thing, right? There is a
No,
lot
Aki is indigenous to Africa. Let's.
in
Can we
today's
be clear on
narrative,
that?
right? In today's narrative, there's a lot of sayings where people say, "Oh, this comes from Africa, that comes from Africa," when most times it's the other way around. Like Americans have had more impact on Africa than Africa has had on Americans. You know, mind you, if you go to
Actually,
certain
that's a
places,
lie, Molly.
no.
No, that's a lie. If you told
That's
me
not a lie.
France, no. America has never been a colonizing nation. So if you told me Arabs, no. If you told me Arabs, if you tell me the British, the French, I'd say yeah, they've had a more effects. Like what is Americans? First of all, you speak American. Wait. You speak American English.
Americans founded Africa's first modern republic in Liberia. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, via the American Colonization Society. It wasn't of their free will.
See, now you're making it something that it's not.
No,
it simply was Americans
it was
went over to
literally
Africa and founded America's first country. I mean,
it was
Africa's
through the
first republic.
American Colonization Society. It's in the name,
So what does
colonization.
that? Yeah, what does that mean? That means America colonized Africa. Brazil colonized Nigeria. That's why you have
Well, hold
Brazilian
on.
architecture in Nigeria.
Wait.
You have the
Let's
Sero
wait.
people,
Molly,
the Amero
Molly,
people, the Aguda
Molly,
people.
slow it down. What year? Because if you're talking about America colonized Africa, I can give you other, like the Arab conquest is centuries from the 17th to 7th century to 13th century. I can give you the Portuguese, I can give you the British, I can give you the French, way before freaking America.
Well, America, 1820s, I think it was when they first started.
1820s, and I'm telling you 7th century.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know. In a meaningful way,
So
America was
don't over, and it was in one specific place, or maybe two, maybe Liberia and Sierra Leone, right? Africa,
also
the
not-
continent had other people who predate Americans. What's it called? Like America's timeline.
Right.
I just go off of facts. What I can
No,
see.
but you're not
factually speaking.
you're not providing facts. So I'm telling you, the Arabs came in in the 7th century.
I mean, yeah, maybe the Arabs colonized Africa.
Okay, and
first.
then
I don't
before
know.
after the Arabs, there were the British, Belgian.
No, they didn't get to
French,
colonizing Africa
Portuguese.
until like the late
The Arabs,
1800s.
yeah, definitely the Portuguese.
Yeah.
It was the Portuguese. It
The
was
Portuguese,
it
Spanish,
was Spain, the Spaniards,
France,
right?
UK,
France,
Germany,
Netherlands.
even Germany.
Exactly. It was so many. It was all of Europe. It was Europeans.
Yeah,
But you don't even speak about the 1400s. She said the seventh century, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, but you don't even know of the. I'm pretty sure I knew you didn't know about the 7th century, but you don't even speak about Cape Verde and the 1400s, the 15th century, right? You don't even speak about that. Like you don't have the range to have this conversation, to be honest. You don't have the range because you sit up here talking about a lot of stuff happened in America and it went to Africa. That's so disappointing for a black
people
man
from
to say.
people from the Americas went to Africa and founded a lot of what you see. You know,
No.
I mean, you literally talking about these people, these Europeans who used to bleed themselves out.
And
thinking
point of
it-
correction, they did not go to Africa. They went to Little Liberia and probably some parts of Sierra Leone. That's it.
And the West Indian Regiment went to Ghana. The West Indian Regiment went to Ghana. What else? The Brazilians. The Brazilians
They
went
did
to
not colonize
Nigeria
Ghana.
and
No.
Angola.
There was no colonization in Ghana. There wasn't, because
I think we should
the
stop.
British was already there way
Ma'am?
before in Ghana.
I think because it sounds like his talking points are speaking from the colonizer perspective. I think we should stop trying to educate people like him, because he's just going to keep on refuting instead of actually understanding that, listen, the colonizers were the colonizers. They did not do nothing but try to assimilate and take over and destroy. They did not do nothing. The America that you're talking about didn't do nothing but destroy and bring destruction to wherever they try to settle in.
It's okay. We debate like
Are
actual
you
stuff, so it's
Black
okay.
American? Are you African American?
No, I'm Haitian and Dominican.
Okay.
Well, welcome back, Grace. It's been a long
It's
time.
been a very long time, Vibes.
Good to hear your voice.
But can I get clarity though? Because he keeps on saying we, the American Colonization Society. But my recollection tells me it was the freed black slaves. But your dad is
People weren't
Native
slaves. Why you
American.
guys got? And that's another thing. Why you guys
Yeah,
always call
it
people
was the
slaves that weren't
freedmen. It
slaves?
was the freedmen. No, these
No,
are actually
the first president
they
of
actually
Liberia
call
was a
themselves
free
freedmen.
people.
No. This is
No.
actually
You guys always try to call somebody a slave. You don't even call them. You don't even say they were enslaved.
No,
You
I
call
said
them straight up
freed.
slaves.
No, listen.
You don't even call. You don't even put
Molly,
the en in front of it.
Molly, I never said slaves because that would imply they're still in bondage. Therefore, how are they going there? I said freed.
You said
okay?
the slaves.
The freedmen. I said freed.
So they're not humans. They're freed slaves. That's crazy.
I mean, according to the Constitution, it still says that, though.
No, but why is he putting that on me
I'm
when
just saying.
the actual history is that these people were enslaved? Like, why are you blaming me on?
All right, now you're saying they were
historical-
enslaved. Now, free people of color. You guys
Wait.
like to erase free people of color. Free people of color have always existed in America.
You
It was
act
mostly
like she
free
called
people
you a
of color.
slave baby, bro. Relax.
No.
And
free
isn't
people
he
of color.
Jamaican
I'm just saying,
American?
like, I don't
Why
like
does
how
he
they
have the Jamaican
dehumanize.
flag in front of his American
I hate
flag?
how
I'm
they
sorry, Molly.
dehumanize
I'm not the one who
Americans of the
dehumanized.
past
Excuse
and call
me.
people that weren't
Don't put
slaves
the blame on me
slaves.
on the dehumanization of black people in America.
No,
Like,
that you
that
did that.
happened.
You just called free
Molly
people of
just has
color
that
slaves.
perception in his
Yes, they
mind
were
that
freed
anytime an
slaves, and that's an
African
actual
speaks, that they're
historical
No,
having.
fact.
you're not. So they're endemically slaves that happen to be freed, right? Because you call them freed slaves, right?
But that's what she called them. But I think you
So they're
just
not
jumped
free
in.
human. They're not free human beings. They're free slaves. They're
Molly,
endemically.
why are you having an issue with me?
Semantics.
Just no, wait. Why are you having an issue with me and not actually having an issue with people who enslaved them?
I mean, look, you're the one who called them slaves. I never brought up slavery.
I
You
said
did.
no. You brought up Liberia, and I'm saying those like repatriated freedmen, free
Repatriated.
formerly enslaved people.
They weren't from Africa, so they weren't repatriated. They were just
You know,
Americans.
they were
that happened to
no,
be.
they were from Africa.
All right, look at the picture of Liberia's first president.
Again, he
and tell
knows
me
more
he
about
looks
America
Liberian.
than he knows about Jamaica.
Wait,
That's
so
for sure.
wait, hold on, wait. Let's go through this logic. So these people were never from Africa, so they were being sent
No,
there
look at
in Africa.
Liberia's
Why?
first. Look at Liberia's first president, and you tell me that looks like an African man. Like, come on, you guys are tripping.
Is the American Liberian?
That man does not look African, especially back in them days. You know,
Can
does
you
not
pull
look
up? Can
African
you
at
do
all.
me a
Oh
favor,
my god, this is
Vibes?
so dumb,
Can
man.
you do me a favor? Somebody, Vibes, anybody? It should be this imbecile here, but can somebody pull up the first Liberian president?
They're
Yeah,
they're the
Joseph Jenkins
American.
Roberts. He's not African in any way, shape, or form. No,
Molly,
he was an educated person of color from
Molly,
America.
Molly. So they just rounded up Black Americans and sent them to Africa for no reason.
They didn't round them up. They said, "Who wants to? You know, we got a job for you.
Oh,
Who
they
wants to
asked them
colonize
who wants to
Africa?"
go. You're saying they asked them who wants to go there.
Yes, and they were like, "I'll go. I'll be a founding father of an African nation." I mean, the man was ambitious.
That sounds fucking funny and weird as fuck.
It said
What type
founding
of
father.
history is that?
And there you go, the first president of
And if I
Liberia. That
could be
does
honest
not look
with
like
you,
an African man.
you could tell by the texture of his hair that he is a descent of some
I
type
am
of
weak.
African.
And you know when they bring up Liberia, I'm like, so why you bring it up? Because right now
Like
we
you
can
don't
go.
see the you
Wait,
don't see his hair texture.
we can go through the facts
I
of like.
mean, you know,
Listen,
Melanesians have kinky hair too. Are they? Does that make them African? Like, come on.
Yeah,
no, they're not black.
You see the
But
point
any-
I'm trying to make. You guys are trying to go with the hair argument now.
You can.
I can get no, but Melanesians are black as well.
No.
See, I found the fissure. Look, I'm about to be out though, but you guys can debate that. But I'm out. I mean, I'm done, I'm tired of cooking y'all.
No,
Like,
but
took a
anyway,
nice little
Molly.
walk.
So Molly, to finish it up, right? So I don't know why you guys always bring up Liberia when, as if it's not right now. It's one of the worst
You
performing.
look like Bill Duke. Is that
It's
Bill
the
I mean,
Duke?
it's
it
the
wasn't always.
worst performing. It has
It
always
only
been
get.
actually. It's literally like the worst performing country. Meaning, it
That's
actually
only
is.
after.
It's a case
Present
study
day
on.
Liberia.
It's a case study on what the American colonization society ended up like
No,
achieving. Like
that was
literally
only
just the
after. That was
worst.
only
The
after the native
worst.
Liberians took over.
No,
Before the native
actually, no.
Liberians took over, it was
No,
one of
no,
the
no,
best
no.
performing
It's still
African countries.
no. It's still ruled by those American Liberians.
No, the American Liberians made it
It's
stable
still
and one
being
of the.
ruled by them,
No, it's
sir.
not. No, it's they had a civil
Yes,
WAR over it.
yes,
Remember?
yes. It
They
is. It's
overthrew
still
the
being.
American Liberians and had a
Listen,
civil.
it's
And even
still
Charles
actually.
Taylor. Charles Taylor was the last American Liberian leader, and he got sent to international prison. They said, because
So
American Liberians have
therefore,
never. People have always had a problem with them.
yeah, because
So
it came with the whole colonization mentality, and that's why until today, Liberia suffers through that.
Liberia
You
suffers
know,
because of the native Africans that wanted to take
no.
over. They don't know how to run a country. So it is what
No,
it is.
the natives were fine. They had rubber and they had everything until the American colonization society, and until today, the domino effect of that colonization society is still felt. Right? They are one of the poorest African nations. They're underperforming in every category.
But yeah, like I said, I'm done cooking y'all. I think I gave y'all a good history lesson.
You didn't
Molly,
cook
you're never
anybody.
gonna cook no one, bro. You're never gonna
You got
roast anybody.
cooked.
This was a big L in the FBA
Nah,
community, and they're
Molly,
they're
you
gonna
got
remember
deep
this. This is
fried,
gonna be reclaimed,
roasted.
I
dragged.
mean, like it's not hard to really like. It's not a hard thing to educate y'all. Y'all are so wrong that it's crazy. But yeah, though, I'm out.
Ngozi had to
Good night.
educate you about Jamaica, brother. Why don't you just learn more about your homeland country? Go back and fix it. You feel me? Like they tell us.
Yeah. Okay, the fixed part is kind of harsh, but okay.
I'm just using their rhetoric.
Wait, so why do you have on the prompt Mexican/Kenyan? Who's that?
So that is the
I've never met a
sister.
Mexican Kenyan.
That is the sister. Oh my god, I'm blanking on her name. That is the sister Lupita. Lupita
So
yeah,
Lupita no, she's just by nationality, but she's a Luo. She's fully indigenous Kenyan.
right. So by nationality, she's Mexican.
But there's a difference
No,
between race
no.
and nationality.
Nationality. Listen, she's not only Mexican. That's the issue people like.
No,
lie
I know that.
about.
So look,
That's what he's saying.
if you read it, read it. It says it's Mexican, Kenyan, and a naturalized American, right?
Yeah, she's all of those. Yeah.
She holds three different nationalities.
I know the family personally. Mm-hmm.
No, and I appreciate that information. I didn't know what type of indigenous within Kenya, so that is interesting, and I appreciate that. I was just making the fact that she could be Black American as well, because
She's from
she
the
got
same tribe
naturalized.
that Obama's father is from.
That's beautiful. She played in the movie Us. You remember
Yes,
that
she
movie Us that
did.
Jordan
Yes,
Peele?
And 12 years a
Yeah.
slave. 12 years a slave actually
Yeah,
was the
this
first
is where they get the terminology tether from that role that she played in that movie.
Oh yeah,
Because
that Us movie.
yeah, she played a Black American woman with a Black American family, right? And then the whole theme of the thing was that they had doppelgangers, right? They had doubles
I
that lived
watched.
underneath
Yeah, I
the
watched it.
ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's funny. I had to go watch it again because there's a scene
Wait,
where
so where is the tethered part? Because I remember Caesars and everything. So what is the tethered part?
The tether comes from these underground people trying to switch places with the people up top. So the bottom people that lived underground, they were kind of more like zombies, and
It's interesting because the beginning of the movie, it's the little girl that switches places with the normal girl up top, right? And so she gets lost and she goes down to the boardwalk, and then they switch places somehow, and then so the little girl grows up as a Black American, but she was always
because she went to the Hall of Mirrors,
yeah, something like that,
and then
right?
she got swapped in that mirrors.
Exactly. So this is the role that they talk about cosplaying and undermining. Now, did Jordan Peele do it with that intention? Because he knew that was Lupita and her background. Because there is a scene where the husband, because the other lady comes back, which is the true lady, right? The one that got switched over, that's just trying to get back to her normal self and fighting amongst this tether, quote unquote. There's a scene where the guy goes, "What are you guys?" And she goes, "We're Americans." I don't know if you've seen that one. I gotta post it.
That was all of the family. That was when they were getting ready to fight.
Exactly.
But I think Jordan Peele, I think he did that intentionally because of everything that was going on. He's a brilliant dude, a brilliant director. I think he did it intentionally.
No, everybody's saying like he's like such a brilliant director for doing that, and like I'm trying to guess that Lupita.
You really didn't think that was smart that he did that? And then, mind you, that movie Us came out. That movie Us came out even before it hit the good here. Like, that whole tethering and Anchor Baby and all that stuff hit this good here. Beyonce's TikTok and Beyonce's internet.
The Anchor Baby stuff was there, but used to be like something that was like only for Mexicans, right? But I guess
no, not just Mexicans, but yeah, go ahead.
No, they use it for us, but I'm saying initially that when you had Anchor Babies, it used to be like for Mexicans.
It used to just be for anybody that literally came here.
Yeah, but just like xenophobia.
Just to have a baby to get there.
That was a
No, I feel like saying
it wasn't just for Mexicans,
no, but so Saving Grace, a lot of the negative connotations about immigration is never directed to white immigrants. Okay.
Oh no, we know that.
So exactly. So it was never used for white immigrants, right?
Right.
It was mostly used for brown and black, and normally in the media, who's the most disproportionately like the face of immigration used to be like the brown people.
No, they also talked about black people as immigrants too.
That's what she said. She said black and brown. It was
yeah.
But it is
I'm saying they're disproportionate. Like even when you talk about people hear immigration, they always imagine the southern border, right? When we know the biggest immigrants coming through the airports, which are white immigrants, but nobody talks about them. So I'm saying Anchor Baby clearly, of course, means anybody who comes and gives birth here, but that tag used to be specifically disproportionately used on the brown immigrants.
See, she's not saying black. I knew what she said, guys.
I'm
she's not
Kenyan,
saying
so like,
black
I don't know
and
why
brown. She's hinting that it was that Anchor Babies is solely just towards the Mexicans.
In certain
areas. I'm not saying,
I
don't think you're understanding my point. I don't think you're understanding my point. I'm saying that used to be the connotation, right? I'm Kenyan. I'm a black immigrant myself, so like I don't know why we're.
No, there's no. It's nothing. It's just certain eras. They were more focused on certain demographics of immigrants, and that's where they heard Anchor Baby. But it does mean a broad term for all people that were born here, first generation, right? Like that kind of mentality. But I have to go now, guys. I'm sorry.
It was nice. First time being on your live.
For sure. I appreciate you too, sister.
It was nice meeting you, Dainty. My fault. I'm sorry.
You said you're from Haiti, right?
Grace, you got to come back on my lives, okay?
I
Saving
have
Grace.
been. I was in here the
Saving
other time too.
Saving
Oh, okay.
Grace.
I
You
haven't
said you're
seen you
from.
here
You said you're from Haiti.
No, I'm born out here, so I would be
Oh,
considered the anchor baby.
because we
Oh,
got
you're okay. You're American. Okay. Nice to meet you.
we gotta drag these guys talking about all this Haitian shit because of the TPS. So I need you.
Man. Yeah.
Listen. But all right,
But it
I'll
was
talk to
nice
y'all
meeting
later.
you, Grace. Nice
No,
meeting
I
you,
know. I know
Violet.
it's deep. So I need you. All right, guys. Have a good
Okay,
night.
bye.
Thank you.